check your phone. Might, yeah, just in case Jordan might text us if it's live.
We're live.
It's live? Gotcha. Just turn ourselves up this time.
If I ever accidentally say hey Jack, I'm so sorry.
Hey, it happens.
Hard button.
On an absolutely beautiful evening here in Athens, Ohio on a Wednesday evening. We got two cross-the-border rivals matching up as we got the Ohio Bobcats and the Marshall Thundering Herd. My name is Cedric Grange, and I'm joined by Chloe G. Workman. And today we got a really great matchup. What's going to be the batting order for each of our respective teams?
Yeah, thank you so much, Cedric. Starting off for the Marshall Thundering Herd, their leadoff is give me just a second, number 43, Allie Harrell. She will also be playing first base tonight for the squad. Next in the lineup, number 16, Sage Pye. She's going to be their designated hitter for the evening. Coming up next is number 23, Stevenson, and she's going to be playing left field for the Herd. After that, we have number 9, Lauren Love, and she's going to be the shortstop. After that, number 00, Autumn Owen, she's going to be their third baseman. Coming up next, 48, Bub Faringa in left field, followed by Katie Adams at catcher. Number 3, Armani Brown in center field, and number 4, Alex Coleman at second base, and number 21, Sydney Nestor at pitcher. And that brings us to Allie Harrell stepping into the box.
Yep, and then the pitcher for the Ohio Bobcats will be Mackenzie Cole. She is a senior out of Corona Del Mar, California, and went to Modern Day. She has a 4.8 ERA and 58 innings pitched and has 35 strikeouts. Trying to make it 36 as there is the first pitch.
Coming in
And
first.
it's strike. That's going to make the count. Keep it at 0-1.
Allie Harrell, I'm excited to see her bat. She has a tremendous batting average at 475. Leads the team.
Yeah, but it's beyond impressive. Now that one goes a little bit too high right there. That's going to result in it being a 1-1 count. Yeah, but like you were saying, Harrell's been a really impressive hitter. She's from Gahanna, Ohio, which is really close to my hometown, where I'm from New Albany personally. And again, her stats just really jump off the page. As that one is pied all the way out. It looks like the left fielder's going to go to catch it, and that is a catch. That is Jasmine Logan stepping up there for the catch, and that'll be a fly out for Allie Harrell as the Bobcats get off to a pretty solid start out there. Solid fielding on the pop fly.
You're right. Huge start right there for the Bobcats, but honestly, they're going to have to work every single at-bat. These starting 3 right here for Marshall are just, their stats are just insane.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's also just a very relentless front as we see the next batter up there as she swung. That's going to be a strike, 0-1 count. The next batter for Marshall is Sage Pie. She's from Stockton, California, batting .383, has 6 home runs, 21 ribbies, and 23 hits on the year. So another formidable foe for Cole, who's had a great start. That one goes a little bit outside, though. That's going to make the count 1-1. Mackenzie Cole, they played a lot of really tough teams, and they went against a lot of tough batters, so they are definitely battle-tested for the Bobcats. So she's definitely used to going against some tougher competition, such as Kentucky. We saw earlier Georgia, as well as that one's fouled into the back netting, kind of coming towards us in the press box, making it a 1-2 count, 1 strike away for Cole to try to get her first strikeout of the day.
You're exactly right, Cedric. When it comes to Cole, she sees tough batters all the time, and like I said, this is a tough lineup, but nothing this team hasn't faced before.
Not at all. That one goes a little bit to the outside. That's going to make the count 2-2 as Mackenzie Cole is going to try to work to get a strikeout. One thing about Marshall, they're coming off an 8-game homestand where they outscored their opponents 147 to 57. At least along the whole season, which is pretty impressive. There's a hit. That one goes right out to the shortstop, and that one is caught by the Bobcats. Number 0, Tori O'Brien, the second baseman, who makes the catch. So solid start right now for the Bobcats as they get 2 outs. That one was on a line drive, and they're able to stave off the first 2 of this tough 3-headed front that Marshall brings for their lead hitters.
Yeah, that one looked like it was coming off the bat good, but O'Brien out there just had to wait, and then just make an easy catch for that second out.
As it is. Next up is Maya Stevenson, number 23. She's from Mesquite, Texas, and she's batting .379 with 5 home runs, 18 ribbies, and 22 hits. So another one who has just really impressive stats that really pop off the page. This team hits a lot of home runs. And there's a strike right there. That's going to make it a 1-1 count after the ball on the first pitch, as Cole's been holding her own so far.
You're right, that was a huge strike right there, and as you said, Stevenson, a monster hitter here for the Thundering Herd. Be another one to lock down, and so far a good start to the first inning here for the Bobcats.
That one goes a little bit outside for a ball, but yeah, it's almost a fitting name that they're called the Thundering Herd with how many hits they can thunder out of the park. It definitely is a fitting name, but the Bobcats are going to look to try to beat their rivals. The last time they faced off against Marshall here in Athens, they ended up being victorious by a score of 10-2. And that one's going to be fouled out. The Bobcats are unable to catch that as number 2 Caroline Spacek, the first baseman, tried to run out to get it, but that one's going to be fouled, and that's going to put the count at 2-2.
That might be on the corner of your screen there, but that's kind of out there in that no man's land. It's kind of a tough position to get between the first baseman, second baseman, right field. You always want to grab those, but it's always just somehow just a little bit out of reach.
And here's a chance to get out of the inning for Mackenzie Cole. We'll see if she strikes it. And there's a hit, and that one is fouled all the way inside the baseball diamond, funny enough. The baseball game for the Bobcats is going on right now as they're taking on Marshall as well in baseball. And she hit that ball so hard it went into the outfield of Bob Wren Stadium right next door.
Yeah, that one, as soon as you seen that ball hit that bat, it was flying. It happened to go really, really high as well. Just watching those center fielders out there on the baseball field.
Cole once again with the chance to get out of the inning, and there's a hit, and that one is going to be out of there as that hits the top, and the Thundering Herd showcase automatically just right now why they are so good at being able to hit those home runs as Maya Stevenson gets it started now for Marshall as she gets a solo home run. That is her 6th home run of the year and her 19th RBI. Really impressive statistics, and Cole, she was right there 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning, but she was just unable to get out of there, and the Herd are in the lead by a score of 1-0.
That was an absolutely beautiful hit. That hit right there square on the bat. Hit that building out there behind left field and actually flew to the other side. I don't know if someone's going to go out there and, grab that for her or bring it back to the stadium, but she just absolutely smoked that ball. So we have our cleanup hitter, Lauren Love, coming up to bat, who's also playing shortstop.
Yep, so Love is up next. As you heard, Lauren Love is from Matthews, North Carolina, batting .377, 23 hits, 20 RBIs, and another one who has above 3 home runs. She has 3 homers on the year. It just seems like everybody's gotten a piece of the home runs so far for the Thundering Herd. We already saw one early on now, and we'll see if we can get that. That one skips off the ground and into the back net for another ball. That's going to make the count 2-0. As we're really starting to see why Marshall's a team that's put up 147 runs this year. But in this series, Chloe, it seems like Marshall has had the upper hand since 2004 as they're up 22-8 in the series. So they've definitely gotten the better of the Bobcats as of lately. But with this being the first home game, the Bobcats have a chance to try to pull off the upset over the 16-5 Thundering Herd, as that ball is a little bit off of the strike zone there. That's going to make it 3-0 as the count.
Love getting low pitches each time so far. And yeah, you're right, it has been kind of a outweighed series thus far, but this is always a series I want to watch. These two teams pretty close in proximity to each other, so it's always fun to see how they battle it out.
Yes, it is, and there's going to be the walk, as that is a first walk of the day given up by Mackenzie Cole. And that's going to give the base over there to Lauren Love. And next up will be Autumn Owens. Autumn Owens is from Mill Spring, North Carolina, and she's batting above 400, .422. And it's just almost shocking, Chloe, when you read these stats of like how great and how efficient they're batting. It's just insane.
Yeah, you're right. 400 batting average is just insane, much less 422 or 475 like we've seen so far. But this just goes to show you how it all can change within one pitch. Rallies are really what kind of drives a softball game. The first two batters went down real quick, and now we've already had a home run and another girl on base when we were at one point just one pitch away. So, yeah, it is exciting to see how the pace of the game can change so quickly.
Yep. Cole trying to break a streak of pitching a little bit off the mark there, as there's almost a stolen base, but Love slides back into first base. That's going to make the count 2-0. As earlier today, it looks like Ohio's going to take a little bit of time on the mound to be able to go over things. Again, with a team like Marshall that has so many dangerous hitters, being able to have that time with your pitcher to go over everything and just maybe take a chance to breathe could really help this team out a lot. But, yeah, what do you think so far of the start so far, Chloe, for both teams?
I think it's been a good start so far for the Bobcats. They seem to be getting ahead of themselves a little bit. It was a really smart decision right there for Coach Kinsey Roark to call that timeout, kind of give their infield a chance to breathe, especially with this Bobcat team where they really seem to be struggling is their pitching. They only have 2 pitchers, whereas Marshall has 5. So you get into a little bit of a rut like this or like a different game, you only have one girl to rely on. And that's just really tough for this Bobcat squad so far this season.
Yeah, that's right, Chloe. Mackenzie Cole, she's 4-6 on the season, and then Kylie Koflet is 1-6 on the season. Kofelt, apologize for that, is 1-6 on the season. So, again, the pitching not having a lot of depth compared to especially Marshall, who has about 5 or 6 pitchers deep. That could be something to really keep an eye on here as we go through the 7-inning game. There's a pitch, there's a strike, and almost picked off the runner at first. Actually, looks like it's going to be a runner's advance. My bad. I apologize for that. So it's a situation runner's advance. Must have been hit by a pitch or something like that. And that's going to result in both of the Love moving to second, and then Autumn Owens moving to first base. So next up, pitching or hitting for Marshall will be Faringa, Bub Faringa.
Right now, having 2 runners on base, a lefty batter is exactly what you don't want if you're these Bobcats. Get a hold of one, send it right out to the right field, and you're scoring 2 right here. Really going to have to fend off right here. And that's some good defense right there. We've seen Brooke Rice coming out hot, sending it down the second baseline, but they weren't able to grab that out there.
Yeah, the Bobcats got to be a lot more vigilant now with runners on first and second to make sure there's going to be a lot of stealing attempts and stealing opportunities for Marshall. So Cole's going to have to do a great job of making sure to be aware of all the situations as well as our infield defense here. Bub Faringa is from Glendale, Arizona, and she's batting .37, 10 hits, 8 RBIs, and 1 homer on the year. She went to Cactus High School, which is one of the funnest names of the high schools that I saw. You think of Arizona, That's definitely what I think of a high school as. But yeah, that keeps the count at 2-0 as there has not been a lot of strikes recently for Cole, as there's Love trying to escape, but she's able to just get back on the plate before she could be picked off by Tori O'Brien.
I'll tell you one thing we're seeing so far is Brooke Rice is not afraid to throw the ball. And if you're going against a catcher like that, you're going to want to try to press her every single time, try to get her to make an error. That's exactly probably what's running through Marshall's head right now, because they are not going to back down. We find ourselves quickly with loaded bases.
Yep, that's another walk yet again. And seems like Cole's got herself into a pretty difficult spot. Just a few moments ago, she was almost out of the inning with it being 0-0, and just like that, it really shows how things can change in a snap.
Seen a lot of action so far this first inning. Sometimes games start off slow, but Marshall's kind of picking up hot. I know the first two batters we were like saying, oh yeah, Bobcats getting the good outs, but struggling to find it right now. Seems like all of Cole's pitches just seem to be right off that outside corner, and the umpire just isn't giving it to her tonight.
Nope, not so far throughout the game. And hitting right now for Marshall is Katie Adams. She's from Hurricane, West Virginia, and she's batting .205 as Cole finally gets herself another strike. And she has 9 hits, 12 RBIs, and then she has 3 home runs of her own. It seems like every player in that starting lineup has at least 1 home run on the season.
Yeah, the Thunder and Herd, like you said, they are Thunder, and they big hitting team. We're probably not going to see a lot of bunts coming out of their end today. And once again, Rice, that one almost.
Yeah, nearly picked off at third base. So close. And a lot of these moments, you got the umpires looking. It just comes down to half a centimeter. Something can be really close. Sometimes the timing is just right there where they almost pick off a player. But
game of inches.
That is true, as that pitch is a little bit off the mark, and that's going to yield a run for Lauren Love as she reaches the base. And now it is 2-0 with the Herd putting up 2 runs so far in this opening inning as they're nearing the bottom of the order. Next up will be Coleman, who's going to be coming out to bat for the Thunder and Herd.
That one looked like it got right off Armani Brown's elbow pad right there. Good thing you wear it, because that would hurt coming off your elbow.
I bet. Have you ever been hit by a pitch before?
Oh, yes. Many, many times. Thankfully, nothing too bad, but I know a lot of players like to utilize that elbow pad because that's just a sore spot to get hit right there.
Yeah, I bet. So that's something where I never played baseball or softball, but just being able to see how fast these pitches are coming and with that much heat, as that one goes off the plate, and there's a chance to get us out, and they do get it out. As looked like Autumn Owens tried to go all the way to the base off of the errant pitch, but Mackenzie Cole, she kept her cool, ran off to the plate, and was able to get the out. So there it is. 2-0 is the score. The Herd are able to put up 2 runs, and you're listening to Ohio Bobcat TV. We'll be back in a moment.
That was nice. Nice out right there. You tap it. One hit, but 2 runs. No errors.
Welcome back to the broadcast. And the Bobcats are finally getting their first chance to bat right here, along with Cedric Granger. If you're just tuning in, Marshall's ahead 2-0.
And then first up for the Bobcats, it's going to be England. Allie England, the center fielder, is going to be up first, and she on the season is 21 hits, 6 RBIs, batting .362 on the year, and she's from Long Beach, California, looking to help the Bobcats be able to tie it up. And on the mound for Marshall is Sydney Nestor, and she's been a very, very prolific pitcher as she has 136 strikeouts for the redshirt junior out of Hillsville, Virginia. And she's very familiar with Ohio University as she used to play on Akron. So she has a few matchups in the past against the Bobcats, so it's not new competition for her.
Yep, that always helps when you kind of know this team, but that one looked like it had some heat to it coming on the inside on England.
Yes, it did, and that's going to be ball number 3 for England. Is now one more chance. You can even think about getting a couple swings here if you have a chance, if you get a ball that you like. And there's the first strike of that one, so that's going to be 3-1 as a count.
Hitters count right here for England. If you're a batter, this is exactly the count you want. She's ready to rear back and haul off on one. England's been with this program for such a long time. She's a grad student. Umpire once again not really taking that outside corner pitch. Let's call that one ball 4.
Nope, not at all. There's another walk right there, and that's for England. And she had a strong day in her last game against Indiana. She went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, so a really solid day there. And next up will be Spacek for the Bobcats. Caroline Spacek from Beaumont, Texas, and she has 16 hits, 14 RBIs, and 3 home runs on the season, looking to make it 4 as there's a strike right there sent right down the middle to Sydney Nestor as she's looking to add to her impressive strikeout total. And Chloe, when we were preparing for the game, you were telling me about an Ohio pitcher that you saw growing up that had a really impressive strikeout number for the season.
Yeah, one of my favorite Ohio players ever, Savannah Dorsey. Back when she played, she actually led the country in strikeouts, and I looked it up. She had 298 strikeouts on the season, nearing 300, and she led of all of the country. She was really good pitcher to watch.
Yeah, and it looks like Sydney Nestor might have a chance to be able to go as that one is fouled out to the left. Has a chance to be able to reach some of those strikeout numbers with 136, maybe not even halfway through the season. That's just an impressive total, and she could definitely get to that 300 mark. And the count is 1-2 as the clouds are starting to roll in on this evening as the temperature is starting to decline just a little bit as we get into about the mid to lower 60s.
Speaking of this evening, though.
And that ball's fouled right into the dugout, and hopefully everybody's okay in that situation. We'll see. It looks like nobody's hurt as we can see right now, but definitely a scary moment as the gas collectively went over the crowd.
Luckily, the couple of people that look like it went right towards are all wearing helmets, so good on them. That makes your heart stop. Everyone in the crowd's kind of collective. Ooh.
I agree.
Scary to watch.
So 1-2 is the count.
Beautiful turnout here this evening. First softball game back in Athens since last season. It's a beautiful evening. A little bit of a cloudy skies. It's been sun shining and a lot of people coming out to watch baseball and softball. Just wanting something to do on this beautiful evening.
It is just great vibes out here. You get to see people out there in the grassy knolls on the outsides, and there's strike 3 as that is 137th strikeout for Sydney Nestor. But like you were saying, Chloe, just great to see everybody out here, lots of smiling faces. Of course, people were at the baseball game, and then they came right over to the softball game from there as well. Definitely great to see. All right, next up for the Bobcats is going to be Megan McMenemy from Westerville, Ohio. She's a transfer from Ohio State. She has 4 hits and 12 RBIs and is batting .279 on the years. There's an attempted base stolen, and that is stolen successfully as Allie England is able to advance to second on the stolen base. Oh, wait.
She's hustling off the field. I don't know what the call was there. Maybe she left early.
Oh, left early. Tough call
she was off the bag before that pitch left that pitcher's hand. something you don't want to see if you're Ohio right now.
Not at all. That's going to result in the out.
Brings us to a quick 2 outs here.
So now the count is at 1-2, as now at 1-1, sorry, and now the Bobcats are kind of on their last little leg here of the inning. And we saw Marshall, they got a couple of runs here on their last leg of the inning when they had 2 outs, so you never know what could happen here.
2-out rally, that's what it's all about. We'll see if the Bobcats can start one off here with McMenemy.
There's the pitch. That one goes inside, or a little bit outside, sorry, and that's going to be a ball.
I'm seeing that one. That looks like a beautiful pitch to me. Umpire's saying 3-0, so.
Yeah, I was surprised, too. I thought that was coming right in the strike zone there, but, again, the pitcher can see a little bit better from our vantage point, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for that. And there's a strike. That's going to make it a full count, 3-2. Sydney Nestor, again, prolific season, only giving up 1 run per game here, or 1 ERA, which is a very impressive statistic in 81 innings. Pitches, that one is hit downfield. It looks like it has a chance, and that one hits the wall, and that's McMenemy getting the second on the double.
That was a beautiful hit. That center fielder just immediately turning back. I thought that one was over, but it just 1 more inch, and that would have been gone right there for the Bobcats. Still, like we've talked about all game so far, a spark may be just what this team needs.
Exactly, and especially right there on the 2-out sort of rally situation where you just needed something to get you going. That's a great thing to do. It's kind of tough, though, because when you think back to the situation where we might have had a chance to get a run, but leaving a little bit early ended up costing the Bobcats. Next up will be Analia Paoli on the one right there, and looks like McMenemy stays at second base there, but she is up, and her statistics on the season are as follows. She's from Point Marion, Pennsylvania, has 18 hits, 7 RBIs, 2 homers, and is batting .367, one of the better batting averages on the Bobcats.
I don't think the catcher, Katie Adams, meant to kind of test McMenemy out there, but I think that one just kind of got away from her and the pitcher a little bit, rolled out there. Good on the Marshall defense, though, for picking that up early and keeping it from going in the outfield and advancing a runner.
I agree. It definitely could have ended up turning into a breakdown, but they were able to kind of keep it in play and at least give themselves a chance to not yield the third base. Now the count is 3-0 on the verge of a walk here potentially. Sydney Nestor definitely trying to avoid that and just trying to get out of the inning.
Nestor does. I don't even know what I was going to say right there, but Nestor gets that one for a strike.
Yep, there's a strike. 3-1 is the count. Bobcats, they're wearing their all greens today with the white batting helmets there, and Marshall is in the all black uniforms today.
We're talking beforehand, we really like these green uniforms.
Yeah, I absolutely love them. I think it looks really solid. Love being able to show off the school colors. It's definitely a solid look, and in comparison to baseball, you don't see a lot of like monotone looks of having the green on green. Usually it's always going to be one color over white or one color over gray, but in softball you see a lot more of the monotone colors from what I see, and I really like that.
Very, very true, and that brings us to yet another timeout. It's kind of been a long first inning, if you ask me, as Marshall's coach makes her way out there. Megan Smith-Lyon. Have a little chat with her pitcher right here. Like you've said all game, this pitcher is a stud. A lot of strikeouts so far, but so far the Bobcats are kind of giving her a little bit of a test here. And maybe that is that strength of non-conference schedule we've seen so far for the Bobcats. It's kind of prepared them for this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're sitting, for the Bobcats, they're sitting at 5-16 on the season. But through that, they had some really tough competition. Played number 12, Georgia, top 15, top 16, Kentucky, and then also number 34 in the FPI, Western Kentucky. So those are tough competition, but it helps to prepare you for tougher opponents like Marshall, as well as prepare you for the MAC play, as there's a strike. As the batter up now for the Bobcats is Sophia Bernard. She's out of Canton, Ohio, and is batting .375 with 3 hits and 1 RBI, trying to make it another RBI on this series right here. And that's the second strike, as it seems like the little break has helped Nestor so far. She comes out with 2 solid pitches, 0-2 count.
Very true. That's exactly your coach. You want to see your pitcher coming out like that, and she gets a piece of this one.
And there's the fly out to center field. That one is caught by Armani Brown, the center fielder, and that's going to be the end of the inning. The score is Herd 2, Bobcats 0. Welcome everybody back to Athens for this matchup between the Ohio Bobcats and the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Marshall is up 2-0 as we go into the top of the second inning, and there's a pitch, and that's a strike coming right out of the break for Mackenzie Cole, looking to have a more of a shutout this time as opposed to giving up a couple runs. Again, it's a tough task going against Marshall with a lot of the ways that they have a lot of people who have high hitting percentages, high batting average. There's a bunt, and that one goes fouls backwards.
That's a dangerous, it kind of popped up off of the bat of Alex Coleman. We've seen it several times, especially the famous third baseman Jesse Warren diving play. The Bobcats just get a bigger jump on that. We could potentially get an out right there with that one, but just missed the opportunity.
Yep,
2 strikes. We're not going to see her bunt this next one.
Yep, and here comes Mackenzie Cole looking for a strikeout, first one of the day, and there's one that goes out to the third baseman. That one is caught and out at first base, as that was a great job by the third baseman for the Bobcats, Analia Paoli, and then getting it right off to Caroline's. Analia Paoli, passing that back out to Caroline Spacek. My bad right there on the pronunciation.
Yep, Paoli kind of showing off her speed right there. She was pulled in really far, and yet Alex Coleman still was close to beating that one out. And I said earlier, we're probably not going to see a lot of bunts, but here we are, back-to-back batters, pulling back and showing that bunt sign.
Yeah, we'll see if Marshall continues trying to do that attack. And we'll see a couple of the Bobcats players moving up a little bit, including Paoli. And there's a ball right there. That's going to make it a 1-1 count. It's interesting seeing the chess match. Claude, I kind of want to ask you just from the hitting perspective, you feel like there's a little bit of a chess match going on between you and the pitcher when you're on the mound or when you're on the home plate?
It is definitely feels like it's just a battle, and when you're in that moment, it's just you and that pitch. And it always comes down, think in your head, who has worked harder? You always got to think, I've worked harder than this pitcher right here, and I'm gonna get a hit, and I'm gonna get on base. That's always kind of the mindset going into. That's what I've been taught growing up, and I'm sure a lot of these girls have the same or a similar mindset. They've worked so much for this chance right here, and they're not gonna let it go to waste.
As that one's fouled again. That's the third foul ball of this little series here. It's going to make the count 1-2, or keep the count at 1-2 rather. And looks like Mackenzie Cole's still looking for her first strikeout, and she has the opportunity to try to get that on number 3. Apologize for that, not number 3.
Armani Brown.
Yep, Armani Brown.
That one dropping right there at the end. That was really close to being a strike. Beautiful drop ball right there from Mackenzie Cole.
Yep, 2-2 count. And there's the pitch, and that one is hit and right up the center field, and the catch is made by Allie England. And that's going to be the second out just as quickly as the inning started.
You take that hit, you move it over either direction 5 feet, and England's not going to get that one. She was just lucky enough that it came right up the gut and right into her glove. Either way, beautiful contact right there by Brown. We're back to the top of our lineup with that big bat, Allie Harrell at the top.
Yep, ever so dangerous with a 4.75 average and has a lot of homers on the year, and we'll see what she can do. The last time she was up, what ended up happening, Chloe?
She ended up getting out. We were able to get her out, but, you know, she's coming in to this at-bat with revenge on her mind. She's going to want to get a hit this time, especially. We've seen how good she's been doing all season, and she wears that one like a champ. Right off the elbow once again.
Yep, took the pitch right there, and that's going to be a walk there. And she's going to go to the first base, or hit by pitch, rather. Apologize for that. And then next up will be Sage Pye from Stockton, California, who's also ever so dangerous. The start of this lineup is just absolutely brutal, but we'll see if Cole can be able to weather the storm. She just needs one more out.
Found ourselves in this same type of situation last inning. We're just so close to getting that last out, but this tough top of the lineup, just they are not going to let that happen. That one coming in just a bit too high for ball 1.
But we'll see what Cole brings out for this next pitch here. And that one is fouled out to the back. Now, I know in baseball they have a lot of, like, different pitches that can be out there, but in softball, is there, like, different pitch types and different
Oh, yes, yes, of course. It's a little hard for me to tell from this angle, but one of the biggest pitches that pitchers really try to master is the rise ball. You don't have that in baseball because it's nearly impossible to do with the angle, but for softball pitchers, that rise ball is what you are wanting to master. It's whenever it comes in that strike zone and just rises up. It's really hard for a batter to get their bat on that one, and they say the best way to defend it is to just not swing. You're going to have to detect it early and just hold off on it, or else it's really hard pitch to hit.
Great to know, great to know. And now it's a 2-1 count. We'll see what is out here, and that's going to be the third one there as we're on the verge of a walk.
Yep, 3-1 right here for Pye. She's coming into the box at this one, looking to get a hit right here.
Yep, Marshall trying to make this their 12th straight victory, and then their first one away from home for the first time in 8 games. And that one is fouled out to the net. And that's going to be a full count, 3-2.
Great at bat right there for Pye. When you're early in the game like this, you're trying to see as many pitches as you can, tiring out your pitcher, especially when Marshall knows the struggles for the Bobcats on the pitching standpoint. They're trying to tire these girls out quickly, bring it to them, give them the advantage later on in the game.
Especially when you only have 2 pitchers. And that's another ball given up, and that's going to be a walk. So after the hit by pitch and after the walk, that's going to bring up Maya Stevenson. She already had a home run earlier today, and she's going to look to try to get her second one of the day, or at least to drive her runners home.
Yep, Stevenson's coming in to this one. That one she hit earlier almost over the roof of the building. You can see on your screen out there in left field. Beautiful hit on that ball.
And that one's outside, and that's going to be the first ball right there. Starting to get a little bit more overcast as it went from being pretty sunny to now a lot more cloud coverage here and the temperature definitely dropped a little bit. Maybe now it's light jacket weather as opposed to being able to be out here in short sleeves.
Yep, you're right, Cedric. When we started this game, we're at 67 degrees. We've probably dropped way below that now.
Oh, now one is fouled out to the back net, making a 1-1 count for Maya Stevenson. Marshall, they're out of the Conference USA. One of the interesting things is like Marshall and Ohio are so close to each other in terms of proximity, but not in the same conference. So I love to see them play even in football a lot more often, but in a lot of these other sports you see them being able to match up. Softball, basketball, baseball. Love being able to see that, as there was a strike right down the gully, and that's going to make the count 1-2 as Cole has a chance to get out of this inning and strand a couple of runners.
Don't want to jinx it now. We've seen this road right before with this exact same batter. That one gets a bit away from Cole.
Chloe,
right there.
Do you believe in jinxes, Chloe, personally?
I think I might. Especially when softball and baseball are very, very superstitious sports. People come up with all kinds of things they have to do before games.
I understand. Yeah, we even had a person up here in the booth who was just over at baseball, and right when he left, they ended up hitting a home run. Tough call right there, as that one is considered a ball where it could have been arguably in the strike zone there. But that's going to make it a full count. And once again, talking about that pitch count number here for Cole, Chloe, it's starting to definitely get up there as we see another one with a full count.
Yep, very true.
And that one is fouled out the back and almost into the stands, but ends up going to the grassy knoll to the side, right above our camera people from WUB.
Luckily for softball and luckily for the Bobcats, pitch counts they're tracked, but you don't have to get sat or anything like you do in baseball. It's a big advantage to the sport, especially for a team like Ohio with only 2 pitchers.
Exactly. And here's the pitch, and that's a swing and a miss, and Cole is able to get out of the inning. Exactly what she wanted to see, as she gets a strikeout at an opportune time, leaves 2 batters stranded, and that's going to result in the end of the top of the second. The score is 2-0. You're listening to Ohio Bobcat TV.
Welcome back here to Bobcat TV. Bobcats, their second time coming out to bat, hoping to avenge those 2 runs they let go by back in the first inning.
And it'll be Brooke Rice out of Mason, Ohio. She'll be up for the first time today. She's batting 3-4-9, and she'll look to try to get onto the base, as that one is low, and that's going to result in a ball, 1-0 count for Sydney Nestor. Sydney Nestor, she is 10-3 on the year, very impressive record. Actually, if you look all around the bullpen of Marshall, they have some really strong pitchers with really great numbers on the season, great records. Even Kaylee Joyce has 4-2. Bub Faringa's done some pitching as well. She's 1-0 as a pitcher as well. So really impressive statistics there, as that's the second ball for Nestor. Looking to see a few more people file in here as now the baseball game has seemed to just end from over there as we welcome anybody who moved from the stream with Joey Medor and Andrew Allison over to our stream. Once again, my name is Cedric Granger, and I'm joined by Chloe G. Workman for this call. 3-0 is the count, and that's going to be the first strike of the inning for Nestor. 3-1 is the count now.
Yep, I think Rice kind of thought that one was a ball. She looked like she was in motion to drop her bat, but called that one for a strike. Rice had a pretty good game so far, was able to get her runner out at the plate after a pass ball. She swings on that one, missing wide.
Yep, there's a full count now, 3-2. We'll see if we get to see a swing here from Rice. As here comes the pitch for Nestor. And swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 3.
I think that one was that infamous rise ball I was telling you about earlier. Cedric, those ones both seem to come higher in the zone, and she bit on both of them. They were both outside. Maybe that's just that one pitch that Brooke just can't seem to lay off of. Everyone has their one pitch, and that must have been hers. They did really good video watching and figuring out what to throw there.
It is, and Chloe, now seeing that in person, it's just definitely impressive being able to see that pitch and really visualize exactly what you were telling me a little bit earlier. And that is the second strikeout for Nestor. But next up here at the plate for the Bobcats is number 14, Yasmin Logan out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She's batting 105, has 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and a home run on the season. So she'll look to be able to help getting some offense going for the Bobcats. As it seems like the sun is starting to set, so it's getting a little bit darker. We got the lights turning on out here at the field as we are just getting to the heat of things here in Athens.
You're right, and about that right ball pitch, it's a little bit hard to tell how it looks from up here, but if you stand kind of on the side, like maybe near the dugouts down the baseline, you'd be able to visualize that pitch a lot more and really be able to tell what I'm talking about. Sadly, we only have one camera here. We're only able to get one angle for all you viewers. But either way, we are excited to be here and excited to bring you this first game back here in Athens.
Exactly, Chloe. We're excited for the future of Ohio Bobcat TV as well, as we're going to be working towards getting more camera angles going on in the future. We have Jordan now in the office helping us out, so it's going to be really exciting to see what we're going to be able to do in the future. But count is 2-2, and there's a swing and fouled back to the back netting, and count remains 2-2.
A really good foul ball right there for Yasmin Logan. Got 2 strikes on her. Your strike zone kind of widens a little bit, and she just got that one right off the end of the bat to stay in there.
Yeah, it's just all about hanging in there, it seems like that. And there's a hit, and that one is out to first, or to the right field, and that's able to be a single for Yasmin Logan as she's able to get on the base for the Bobcats. She gets the single out to right field.
It's what I like to call a little blooper of a hit, just right over the infield, but not too far for the outfield. A little single. That's all these Bobcats really need, is they just need some hits. They need to get runners on the base, and they need to bring them in. And it doesn't have to all be home runs all the time, Cedric. That's one thing I think some power hitters forget.
Next up will be Tori Walker. She's going to show some mustard on that ball right there as it fouls out to left field. But Walker, she's from Plain City, Ohio, batting .250, 3 hits and 4 RBIs. And, yeah, like you were saying, again, just being able to work step by step could be a potential strategy here for the Bobcats, just to be able to gain some runs and try to get a lot closer. I feel like the wind is really starting to pick up, too, as you can look at the flags. You guys can't see it on your screen, but the OU flags to the left and right of our press box are starting to move right to left on your screen a little bit, kind of showcasing how the wind is working out. We can see if that might affect the outfield positions.
That one seemed to be just a bit inside right there, but back to that foul ball. Walker really kind of stung that one down the line, right at her coach, Kinsey Roark, standing over there. She had to jump out of the way of that one. That's always the dangers that comes with this sport, especially with the batter's boxes being so close.
It is. Speaking of danger, there was a foul that went right over the net and then right over the stands, and hopefully everybody that was walking back from the baseball game was paying attention just in case that one might have went over. But that's going to make the count 0-2 as Nestor's going to look for her 3rd strikeout of the day. There's the pitch, and there's a chance at the steal, and she's picked off, and safe! She is safe as Yasmin Logan's able to advance. It looks like she was able to get on base before she was tagged. It looked like almost surely the second baseman, Alex Coleman, would have tagged her first, but Logan did a great job on that slide to get on the base.
I'm right there with you, Cedric. At first, I thought that was for sure an out, but a great job right there for the Marshall's catcher, Katie Adams. She came up quick with that one, and that was just absolute perfect throw, right on the money, right where you want it to be. Whenever you're going for these steals like that, you really want that throw to be low right there at the glove, and she did just that. So maybe the umpire's seen something we can't see, but for Ohio, that's what they need, and moving that runner around.
So Logan advances to second, 2-2 count now as Tori Walker will try to get a hit. As that one's far outside for 3-2, making it a full count.
That one almost getting away from Nestor right there, and if that's just a couple inches higher, we may see that Bobcat runner moving their way over to third.
Here we go, big at-bat opportunity for the Bobcats to try to advance Yasmin Logan into scoring position, and that one's a fly out to center field, and that one is caught, and Yasmin Logan stays. That one is caught by Armani Brown out there, it looks like, as she once again comes up with another catch. She's been pretty solid. She runs into place, and clearly just from like that perspective, when you see a ball up in the air, how difficult is it to track?
Well, that one right there, it was kind of in that zone where it could have went any way. It just what the most important thing out there for those outfielders and that shortstop is communication. Any three of them, I think, could have grabbed that one, but center fielder taking control over that one and grabbing. It's a lot easier for the outfield to come in and grab it rather than the shortstop. But for these outfielders, this is like night and day to them. Bread and butter. This is what they do.
Now, next up here for the Bobcats should be O'Brien. We'll actually check that one more time there. It is, number 0, Tori O'Brien from Mason, Ohio. 2 hits on the season, 4 RBIs, and is batting .147, looking to get on bases. She's right now on the bad side here of a 0-2 count, and that one's going to be a ball, resulting in 1-2 as Yasmin Logan tried to get a little bit of a head start. But the fake there by the catcher, Katie Adams, was able to deter her from trying to get the third.
O'Brien's first at bat so far, taking a little longer to work through this Ohio lineup than we were Marshall's. Be nice to see O'Brien make something happen right here. Usually want a really good hitter right there at the bottom of your lineup to get you around back to the top. Something a lot of teams strive for, and having a slap hitter right here is exactly what you need.
It is good eye right there by O'Brien, being able to know where that ball was, and that's going to make it a full count. And here it is. It's got 3, 2, and then 2 outs out there. So we'll see what goes down in these next couple of pitches. Will the Bobcats be able to remain alive in the inning, or will it be the end? We will see. And there's a swing and a miss, and Marshall's able to get out of the inning once again, as that is the second strikeout of the inning for Nestor. She's continuing to have a solid game. The score is 2-0 at the end of 2 innings. You're listening to Ohio Bobcat TV.
And welcome back here. Top of the third inning. Marshall still holding on to that 2-0 lead as the Bobcats get yet another chance to score.
Yes, they will, as Marshall's dangerous lineup is going to be back up and batting. It looks like it's Lauren Love. She was able to reach home plate and get a run last time she was out there. So she'll try to be able to do the same thing here. There's a hit, and that one's going to go down Broadway. It's fielded almost by the Bobcats, but not quick enough as Lauren Love gets the first base for the second time today.
Good effort out there at shortstop by Megan McNamee, but it looked like it just tipped right over her glove. At least she kept it from going into the outfield and potentially saving yet another base.
Yes, it is. It almost seems like you blink an eye and somebody can get to the next base with softball here.
Yep, that's exactly the beauty of the sport. You have to be quick.
Yep. Autumn Owens is up next here from Mill Spring, North Carolina. There's a swing and a miss. There's a strike there for Mackenzie Cole. And so far she did a great job the second inning, being able to improve from the first inning, not giving up any runs, especially against that really strong and really powerful first three, top of the order of the Thundering Herd. She did a great job of staving them off, even though she gave up a few base hits and people on the base. She was unable to give up any runs, which is great. And there's another strike, and we'll see if it can be 1, 2, 3 and out for Mackenzie Cole.
Really, really good start to this at bat right here for Cole. Get out ahead. Seems like she's been working from behind a lot so far this game, so it's really nice to see things kind of turn around. Her grab a couple of quick strikes.
And almost picked off at first, but safe as Lauren Love slides in as Caroline Spacek received that pass from Brooke Rice, or received that throw from Brooke Rice, but we're back at it. 1-2 is the count. There's a couple of the baseball players are even filing in here from Ohio to be able to watch and support the softball team here. And that one's a little off the mark. 2-2 is the count. 0 outs here at the bottom of the second.
Rice still, once again, like I said earlier, she is just working that throw, working those base runners out there, not letting them get sleepy at all. She's going to keep them in check all game long.
And there's a swing and a miss in strike 3 as we see a strikeout for Mackenzie Cole. And that's a solid way to start the third inning.
Yeah, Cedric, you're exactly right. That's exactly what Cole needed, is another strikeout. Could see in the eyes of Autumn Owens, she was swinging for the fences with that one. A huge cut right there for her.
And here's Bub Faringa up to bat for Marshall. And there's a strike right there in the strike zone, as that's 4 strikes in the last 6 pitches for Mackenzie Cole.
Some beautiful movement on that pitch from Cole.
There's wind picking up, getting the full evening weather, oh, that one is fouled out just above the dugout of the Bobcats, as that was just about 2 feet. If that was 2 feet lower, that would have probably ran right into the face of somebody in that dugout.
They are just abusing that Bobcat dugout over there.
It is.
Marshall hasn't seen as many come over on their side, but if they had a line drive down there, there's no fence over there on that side of the field, and a lot of those people sitting over there on the hill would have to really watch out.
Yeah, that's right. And that one's going to be a ball.
That was a beautiful looking pitch right there, just a bit outside, and like we've established already, umpires not really biting on that outside pitch.
Not at all, not at all. 1-2 count. 1 out so far in the inning on an earlier strikeout by Mackenzie Cole. And there's one that's going to go pop fly up to the center field, and it's caught by the Bobcats. Allie Inglet steps up from her position just a little bit and makes the catch. 2 outs.
Yep, an easy out right there for England. Kudos to Bub Faringa, though. That was a changeup coming off the hands of Cole, and she sat back, waited on it, and drived that one. Not quite enough power behind it, but if that had been a fastball, it may have been a different story right there. Cedric, it may have went a lot farther. But good on her. A changeup's a really hard pitch to hit as well for batters.
Yeah, one thing just from hearing your response about that, Chloe, I just thought about is how does patience come into control here in softball? Do you feel like you have to wait on it just a little bit to the right time, or you kind of just know it's going to come so fast you just want to swing almost immediately and just hope to time it up right?
I tell you, it's really tough to face a pitcher that has a good changeup because you're so used to, especially at college level, really, really fast pitching. You're just kind of expecting it, and you're expecting to swing. But when it's that changeup, you almost want to swing, but then you have to wait. And a lot of times it throws your swing off balance. So that's a really big thing that hitters need to have discipline in, is waiting for that changeup.
We'll see if we see the changeup again here with Katie Adams' at bat. It's a 1-1 count in the second out, as we could potentially see a quicker inning here, as no movement over to second base, as once again we still have Love from earlier who ended up getting on base to be able to start the inning, still out there at first, and Adams is going to try to do her best to drive her home on this series. But the count is 2-1, and we'll see what Mackenzie Cole has up for her sleeve for this one. And that's going to be ball number 3. Another one of those ones, Chloe, that's really tight call. Could have gone either way.
Yep, exactly. And back to last pitch, that one dropped kind of low. That was a beautiful drop and block right there by Brooke Rice. You have runners on base. You are not letting that ball pass you. You are like a wall back there behind the plate, and that's exactly what Rice has shown so far this game.
And there's a little bit of a dry ground and drive that's going to be fouled almost maybe about 2 or 3 feet away from being fair territory, but just a little bit off the mark. That's going to make it a full count, 3-2, 2 outs.
Always like to see a full count with 2 outs, because if you're one of those base runners on base, as soon as that pitch leaves the hand, you are just running your hardest, because something is going to happen. Either the strikeout, or if there's a hit, you want to be at least 5 steps ahead, able to round that base.
And there's a swing, and that one is going out to the field, and let's see where it's called. It's just in foul territory, as it looked like it had a chance. It was almost fair. It was about 1.5 feet away from that. And that's going to end up being a foul ball, as Adams really showed off a little bit of the power she can have behind her swing.
That's a heartbreaking one for Adams, but funnily enough, there was a fan standing out there, and he happened to catch it with his bare hand, save a car, and then he turned and threw it in all the way to the second baseman. That is just something you don't see too often, and it's funny to see. Pretty
impressive display. Reminds me of my Uncle Kevin Mitchell, married to my Auntie Nene. Shout out to her. And he made a barehanded catch like that back when he was in the major leagues.
Katie Adams is hanging on, though. She fouls yet another one. She is looking for her perfect pitch. She had it just a minute ago. That one was so close. I was looking for it to hit a car out there.
Yep, hopefully not one of our cars.
I parked a little bit farther away. I have learned my lesson here.
And that one's going to go right up the gully, and it's going to get past the infielders, and that's going to be a single for Adams, as she was very patient on that at-bat, and she ended up, like you said, Chloe, being able to wait for that perfect pitch that she could find, and she was able to ground that one up right down Broadway, and that's a base hit for the Thundering Herd.
That one came hot off her bat. Pitcher potentially had a chance to grab it, but it was so hard. It just went right over her glove. We see Lauren Love finally moving her way to second. She was over there at first for quite a long time, almost the whole inning.
Yep, Grace Chelleman steps into the lineup here for Marshall. She is substituting in here for Coleman.
Trying to get a check swing call on that one, but they're not going to give it to the Bobcats, bringing us to 1 ball.
Yep, Chelleman, she's a transfer from Michigan, and moved over here to Marshall as a batting .184, 7 hits and 4 RBIs on the season. Definitely a solid player, and she's hitting for Coleman.
It's kind of a funny matchup. You got McMenemy on the Bobcats, transfer from Ohio State, and this girl will transfer from Michigan. Went from rivals at one school to rivals once again.
Yep, you just can't escape each other at that point.
They've probably faced each other a couple times at this point.
Yep, not only in Big Ten play, but now here in a little bit of out-of-conference action between the MAC and the Conference USA. 2-1 is the count. as they almost try to catch a Marshall runners trying to get a little bit of an early start. 3-1 is now the count now as Cole tries to get out of this inning and not keep the hope alive here for the Thundering Herd for scoring in this inning. There's the pitch, and that's going to be a walk, and that's going to make the bases loaded. Very dangerous position here, and that's going to bring out Armani Brown from Elk Grove, California, who bats .261. She'll try to drive one of her runners home. All she needs is a base hit of any sort. And looks like the Bobcats are going to take some time to talk about it, try to work their way out of this inning. But this is a great chance for all you guys listening with us to be able to look at the beautiful background that is there between both Bob Wren and also our softball field here at Ohio University. You get to see the beautiful dorms in the background and all the bricks of the Bobcats, as well as the Convocation Center out to the right. So very beautiful, beautiful aesthetics here in Athens, Ohio.
Yep, you are absolutely right. Growing up near the area, I've gotten the pleasure to come to some Bobcats games and also make the trip up to Marshall, and I will tell you the Bobcat view will just not compare. It will not.
Not at all, as we're going to go back into our action here. Number 3, Armani Brown from Marshall is going to be up trying to send one of her teammates home, Mackenzie Cole, with the opportunity to try to end the inning right here and strand all the runners. There's the pitch. That one goes a little bit up the gully. I thought that would be almost more in the strike zone, but it was a little bit off, resulting in a ball. 1-0, or 1-0 is the count. Definitely a more tense moment in the game here. As you know, this at-bat is going to have a lot on the line here. It's going to be one of those internal battles between both Cole as well as Armani Brown at this big at-bat.
Yep, exactly. And I think that was another smart move by Roark to come out and kind of meet with her infield here. This at-bat right here could be game changer. I mean, the Bobcats are only down by 2.
And almost picked off there by Analia Paoli, trying to get out Love as she slowly worked her way throughout the bases. She's got to the first, was on there for a while on the Adams at-bat, and then now has made her way to third. 2-1 is the count. And there's a hit, and that one's going to be on. There's a force out at third, and that's going to end the inning as they're able to get out. Megan McMenemy makes the play, and she's able to pass it off to Analia Paoli for the out, and that keeps the score at 2-0 going into the bottom of the third. You're listening to Ohio Bobcat TV. Welcome everybody back to Athens, Ohio for a battle between the Ohio Bobcats and the Marshall Thundering Herd in a rivalry game where the Thundering Herd lead 2-0 as we've had a couple of scoreless innings for the second and the third, but the first inning Marshall came out swinging. And the Bobcats will try to come out swinging here in the bottom of the third. It'll be England back up as we are at the top of the order in the third inning.
Bobcats really need a spark of offense right there. I mean, heck, this is only the second time we're getting to see that top of the lineup in Allie England. Marshall, we've worked through their lineup almost 3 times already, so.
Yep, last time England was at bat, she ended up leaving a little bit early off of first, and she was declared out. I think that would go under classifying as caught stealing, but sort of not necessarily. She made it to second base, but she left a little bit early. 1-1 is the count, though, for England on this at-bat.
Yeah, that was just heartbreaking for England, but she watches that one go by, coming in just a little bit high.
It is, especially given that England probably would have been able to make it home because there ended up being a double by McMenemy later in the series. But, again, with those sort of things, you never know what would happen in different timelines. Ooh, that was close to hitting Allie England, and that one's definitely going to be a ball. 3-1 is the count.
But like we've talked about a little bit, the mindset of the batters, she just has to forget that that happened and move forward. This is another opportunity for her to do something right for her team, and she's going to take every chance you can get. You just have to forget what happened before.
And that's a strike that goes right down the middle, and now it's going to be a 3-2 full count. As we'll see what happens here. We've gotten a lot of full counts so far today, Chloe.
Yep, seeing a lot of batters take it far in the count, and that's exactly what you want to see.
Yep, and there's a hit all the way out to left field. It's going deep, and that's going to hit right in front of the wall, and they're going to call that a foul. I believe that was really close to fair territory. If I look back in there, I think it hit right to the right of the line, of the foul line, and they're going to say that's a foul ball, believe it or not.
You asked me, Cedric. I'm thinking I've seen some white dust fly out over there. I think that one definitely was fair, but sadly, I don't think we have the means to be able to fight that one, and England's going to have to just step back in and do it again.
I mean, Chloe, only if we could show them the stream that's going on right now, they could skip back a little bit. But for a reference, England does get to walk, and she gets to go to first base after that last ball. So at least she still gets a base, but that was very close to being a double.
That was a very close pitch, too. Maybe the behind-the-plate umpire felt a little bad for that one being called foul and decided to give it to her.
Yeah.
Hopefully she can get a steal this time and not leave early.
Yep, next up is Spot Check. Spot Check is back up, number 2, and she ended up fouling that one out towards the dugout. The last time she was struck out on the plate, so she'll look to have a little bit of a better run this time against Sydney Nestor. Sydney Nestor, so far on the day, she has 3 strikeouts.
3 strikeouts is pretty good, but not a lot considering what Nestor's done so far this season. You would expect it to be a lot more.
It is, and there's a swing that's going out to right field, and that was just going to pop right in front of the right fielder, and that's another single for the Bobcats as everybody's going to advance. Spot Check to first, and now England to second, as that's a solid start coming out of the bottom of the third for the Bobcats as they look to try to put some runs on the board.
You know, that right there could have been an out for the Thundering Herd, but the second baseman, Alex Coleman, was caught cheating on that one. She was running over to second base before the ball even made it to the plate, and I tell you, Spot Check just capitalized right on that.
Next up is McMenemy, and she fouls that one out to left field as it looks like the Bobcats are really starting to get some solid contact more and more here. But the last time that McMenemy was at bat, she ended up hitting a double on Nestor, so she's going to try to get the best of Nestor once again.
Looks like the Bobcats are repping the Xenos and the LXT bats. These are beautiful new bats. This is probably the first time I'm seeing their newer bats, and I will tell you, Cedric, as a softballer, I am in love. Wonder if I could convince my parents to get me another one for my senior season.
Yeah, I've been getting to break them out for the home night games, too, get the all-green uniforms, get a pretty good crowd going. It's definitely got to be a great feeling. That makes the count 2-1 now, as we're starting to get a little bit of the later into the evening now, as you can't see the sunsets or anything like that, especially there's a little bit of cloud coverage, but maybe a little bit you can see some of the sunsets peeking through on the horizon. There's a solid contact once again, and that one's going to be fouled almost towards Bob Wren. Will it bounce? No, it bounces off the wall of Bob Wren Stadium there. We saw earlier that we had a foul ball that ended up going into the outfield of the baseball diamond here at Ohio University.
Good battle so far in this 2-2 count. for McMenemy.
Yep, once again, she's a transfer from Ohio State. And there's a pop fly that's going to be going up. The center fielder and the right fielder are both going to go. It's going to be the right fielder with the catch. And that's Maya Stevenson, who runs over to the side to make the catch.
Tell you for a second, Armani Brown was crashing in so hard on that one. Excuse me, not Armani Brown. We have a sub, and it was Chelman out there. It was crashing in so hard, I thought she was going to try to take it herself, but thankfully for the herd, caught her off on that one. And Allie Harrell took it for the out.
Yep, that'll be a F9 there, out to the right fielder. And that's the first out of the inning, as that one goes almost right towards the feet of Paoli here, as she's looking to build off of what happened last time. She ended up getting walked and was able to get to base that way. And she'll look to get to base either by walk or by a hit.
And Sydney Nestor didn't like that call right there. Steps off the mound right there, getting a different pitch call to throw right here to Paoli. And she must have liked that one. She was able to draw the strike.
Making the count 1-1. It's all ones across the scoreboard. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out here at the bottom of the third.
Imagine if the score was 1-1, how funny that one would be.
Mm-hmm. Or 11-11. That one is foul. That's going to make the count 1-2, or 1-2 count there for the Bobcats. Let's see if the Bobcats can continue to build. They have a runner on first and a runner on second as we speak right now.
Yep, only 1 out. Big chance right here to grab some of those 2 runs back. And Paoli is not letting off. She is just fouling. Waiting, like we've said, waiting for that perfect pitch. And Paoli's cleanup hitter. She's had a great success so far this season. She's hit 2 home runs already on 7 hits.
Yep, so we'll see if we can see if we can get more of those, and that's going to be a strike and a strike 3 for Ness. That's going to be her 4th strikeout of the day. She gets the better of Paoli on that round, and that's going to make it 2 outs with a runner on first and a runner on second for the Bobcats.
The movement on that ball from Nestor is just insane. Combine it with the speed, it's really hard for these hitters to jump on that.
It is. Next up is Sophia Bernard. She's 0 for 1 on the day. She ended up having a pop fly out to center field that was caught for the out the last time she was at bat. And that first pitch is going to be a ball.
Looked like a little bobble behind the backstop there for Katie Adams, but she recovers quickly and keeps those Bobcats right in their places at first and second.
Yep. A lot of the lights out there in the parking lot starting to flicker on too, as this kind of evening area looks really great. As there's a swing and a miss, that's going to make it 1-1 on the call. It seems like some of the bigger hits that we saw today, Chloe, aside from the home run in the first inning by the Thunder Herd, have just been just that close to being able to be in and be fair, but either it was called a foul or was caught by a guest or somebody going here. There's a little bit of a miss out there. Is that going to be out? And it looks like the third baseman was unable to corral that as Autumn Owens couldn't catch the ball, and that's going to be safe, but looks like there's an injured player for the Bobcats.
It's not looking good out there on third base.
Not at all. It looks like that's Allie England, the leadoff hitter in the order for the Bobcats.
A bit of a tough collision out there with the third baseman, Autumn Owens. That's why you're not allowed to really block the bags there. May have been that type of situation. I feel really awkward talking right now as the whole stadium has gone just dead quiet.
It is, yeah. You can definitely hear a pin drop. I think potentially the situation might have been a softball that hit, but we'll go to a short break right here. You're listening to Ohio Bobcat TV. The Thundering Herd are up 2-0. After the injury timeout, unfortunately, Ellie England, she was helped off of the diamond, and hopefully she'll be able to be okay. But in for her position will be number 11, Caitlin Fogue. She has 6 hits, 6 RBIs, 194 batting average, so she's no slouch at all, and she'll be taking that center field position. But as for the Bobcats, each of the runners advance as a result, as we see spot check is going to go off to second, and then Fogue now stands on third, and it is a 2-1 count. And right now on the home plate here for the Bobcats swinging is going to be Bernard. So we'll see what Bernard can do here and if she can take one of her runners home.
Yeah, England left third base, looking like she was clutching her wrist. Not something you want to see happen, especially with how productive England is for this Bobcat team.
And she's definitely one of the leaders on the team, so definitely tough to see that happen. Well, we'll see how the Bobcats regroup and if they can rally around playing this game and winning for her. And there's a swing, and that one goes a little bit to the outside, fouled, and keeps it alive. 2-2 is the count, 2 outs in the inning. Bernard just needs a hit. If it's a single or anywhere else in the field, especially if it goes to the right, that's going to be a RBI for her if she can possibly get that. As for Nestor, is looking to get a strikeout and get out of this inning. We'll see what happens. And that one's outside, creating a full count. And we have a big at-bat moment here. As this could be a make-or-break situation. It's either going to end up being a score for the Bobcats or it's going to be a strikeout for Marshall. We'll see what goes down.
Game-changing at-bat right here. Both runners in scoring position. Like I said earlier, you're taking off as fast as you can off that bag.
There's a swing, and Bernard gets a little bit of contact. And there's going to be one, and then we're going to see, and that's going to be out as the Bobcats just get picked off. And it looks like the play was made by Allie Hare on first base. She was able to step on the bag and get the out. And that's going to keep the score at 2-0. Bobcats find themselves down by 2 going into the 4th inning. You're listening to Ohio Bobcat TV.
Yep. Welcome back here, top of the 4th inning. Bobcats still trailing 2-0. Caitlin Fogue subbing in for the Bobcats, going into left field with Yasmin Logan moving her way over to center. Starting off quickly with a ball from Mackenzie Cole. And we're back to the top
And it seems like another hit by pitch yet again.
of the Marshall lineup. And yep, you are right, Cedric. Allie Harrell wearing yet another. I think that's the second time she's gotten hit so far tonight. I don't know, maybe there's some kind of secret beef between her and Mackenzie, but I don't know. And that quickly brings us to our second batter, Sage Pye.
Yep, or maybe the Bobcats just more content and we've given up a single as opposed to giving up a potential home run.
That's very, very true, but I don't know. You got to face a real hefty part of the lineup, and Looks like Harrell's going to get herself a pinch runner out there on first.
Pinch running for the Thundering Herd, number 7, Amaya Lee.
Maya Lee coming in for Marshall. As Pye steps into bat. Pye also got hit by a pitch her last at bat.
Yep, big chance for Amaya Lee. She's a freshman out of Concord, California, so good for her getting some playing time earlier on in her career.
Yep, very true, but the Herd seems to like having those big, tough hitters right there at the top of their lineup. Usually your leadoff is your fast, your speedy hitter, but it seems like they take a different approach, like to have their big hitters starting off. Beautiful drop ball coming in for Mackenzie Cole right there on the inside corner to bring us to a 1-1 count. And Pye steps back in. And that one trailing just high. Pye looks like she wanted to get a piece of that one, but she just holds back, bringing her to a 2-1 count.
That's impressive, the split-second decision of whether to swing or not.
It's a decision you have to make quickly, and that one looked like a rise ball from Cole, so like I told you earlier, you got to really try to hold off on that one, as that last one falls a little bit too outside, and Pye finds herself with a hitter's 3-1 count. She sends yet another one right past the face of Mackenzie Cole. That's kind of the second comebacker Cole has seen. It also makes its way up the gut and to center field. Luckily, center fielder Yasmin Logan is able to get that one in quickly and hold that runner up there on 2. We now have a runner threatening on first and second.
Yeah, a little bit precarious for Mackenzie Cole with the ball going like right, just maybe about a foot away from her out there on the mound. But center fielder was able to do a great job out there, playing it well and limiting them to 2.
Yeah, this is a pretty long game so far, but now up to bat is our third in the lineup, Maya Stevenson. Stevenson has had a pretty successful night so far. She had a home run her first at bat, but her second at bat, Cole was able to get back at her and get a strikeout. We'll see how Stevenson really responds right here. She's already dealing with a 1-0 count. And she sends that one straight out there and straight into the hand of Logan out there in center field. A beautiful first out for the Bobcats.
Yes, Jasmine Logan looks very comfortable out there in the center field. Anytime you have an injured player, you always got to make adjustments on the fly for the Bobcats, and it seems like the Bobcats were ready. They fit the bill, and Jasmine Logan did a great job moving there for the simple count.
Yep, that's exactly right. Logan doing a great job filling in right there in center field, but she's already an outfielder, so she kind of has a gist of it. Just at center, you kind of get a little bit more of a leadership role, like you can call off your left and right field if you want to. Maybe something she's not used to, but hey, she's filling in pretty good so far. Batting now is Lauren Love. Love was just on base for such a long time last inning. It's kind of hard to believe she's already back up to bat. Cedric, she's already facing a ball here.
Yeah, she's done a great job getting on base all day so far today and almost picked off at second, it looked like.
Yet another beautiful throw right there by Brooke Rice, but defense just seems to be just a hair too slow. But I believe they keep pushing on it. They may just catch one of those Thundering Herd players here.
They sure might. Brooke Rice has been just on the money with every throw so far today.
Great catcher for the Bobcats. Timeout called by, looks like someone running out to the bullpen, warming up. Looks like Marshall's starting to warm up their second pitcher out there. Like I said, this has been a really long game for both the pitchers, so it may be time for them to start thinking about switching up the pace here.
Yeah, and this is where Marshall has the advantage. They have a lot of pitchers with more experience. That one lands in the stands. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, it seems like they have a lot more depth and a lot more people with a lot more experience. And for these longer games, you got to really think about how many pitches each of these players are throwing.
That one fouled straight back and hit right at the top of the stands. Bit dangerous, but thankfully it didn't come off the bat too awful hard. as Love is now working from behind with the 1-2 count. And oh my goodness, Mackenzie Cole gets her with that rise ball once again for strike 3. And there's 2 away here in the top of the fourth.
Now that's how you want to start it off. At least make sure that you get this situation of 2 outs. But this seems like where Marshall's been at their best when they've had their backs against the wall in an inning, and they're already had 2 outs given up, and now they kind of get to rally around that. That's where it's been their best. So it'll be a challenge for the Bobcats.
Autumn Owens up to bat. She swings the first pitch, but you're exactly right, Cedric. Scratch that first inning, and the Bobcats have done a tremendous job with that pressure out there on the bases. They've just been able to shut it down and carry their way through here to the 4th inning. Now, if they could only get a spark on the offense, we might have ourselves a 2-2 game. That one gets away from Cole just a little bit.
It is. Well, that's the joy of having having 7 innings. We're not even halfway through the game yet. As long as this game has been so far, Chloe, we're about an hour and 30 minutes in. It seemed to fly by for us just because, I love broadcasting, so being able to be up here definitely makes me smile, and getting all that time, see another strike. But, yeah, it has been a long game so far, and we'll see if the Bobcats come through in the latter half of this and get some runs going, or if Marshall in the latter half of this can be able to increase their lead.
Well, I tell you, we're seeing it once again with Owen. She's swinging for the fences there. Every cut she takes is just so strong and so hard. And that one looked like yet another rise ball. She looked like she wanted to swing, but she just held back. And they ask the third base ump. And that was a quick one. I apologize, folks. But Owens steps right back in now with a 2-2 count and 2 outs up on the board. Roark, I think, just gave a little bit of encouragement out there to pitcher. Tell her, keep on pressing right here. And she does just that. That rise ball getting Owens once again. 2 strikeouts this inning for Mackenzie Cole. An exciting inning for the Bobcats. Hopefully they can carry some of that momentum going into the bottom of the 4th inning. Thank you for tuning in here with Ohio Bobcat TV, and we will catch you back in the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back here, bottom of the 4th inning. Leading things off for us is that catcher, Brooke Rice, coming in for her 2nd at-bat of the game. Still on the mound is Sydney Nestor.
No, it's funny, Chloe, is that with each of the innings, they've stopped at almost the exact same position. They went halfway through the order all the way to Rice in the 1st inning, and now in the 3rd inning, they went halfway through the order, stopping at Rice again.
Rice getting a little bit of a leadoff action here, seems like. It's always fun. She swings at the first pitch, going low and away for strike 1.
Still plenty of time left, but the Bobcats definitely need to generate some sort of momentum there.
She sends this one high. It's foul. It's in that no man's land and almost hitting the camera for WUV. It was over A really good effort there by the left half of the field. First baseman, outfield. We see them all kind of crashing over there. Alex Coleman, Allie Harrell, and Maya Stevenson all going after that one, but it was just too far away from the foul fence to grab it. But that's a new life right there for Brooke Rice. So she's 0-2 now.
It is. We almost saw the catch by Joe Collins out there from WOUB, a friend of both of ours.
And yet another foul right there for Rice. She sends this one hard and back. See some people walking on the path back there. Gotta kind of keep a heads up when you walk this path.
It is. That was hit with so much power, it might even be able to go all the way back to the Hockin River.
That would be interesting. I foresee that being a problem here at this stadium for sure. Oh my goodness, the movement on that ball from Nestor. I can see it from here. That beautiful drop ball, and it gets Rice right there, and that was a beautiful third strike right there for Nestor.
Yep, that puts her at 5.
5 strikeouts so far this game. She's really starting to build up on her record so far. As Yasmin Logan comes into bat. Logan takes a low one for the first pitch. Logan was the one that hit a single her last at bat, that little blooper right over the infield out into left field. Good production right there for her. Second pitch, yet another low one, but we see Katie Adams back there behind the plate really trying to work that frame job right there, but the umpire just doesn't bite on it.
One other thing about Logan's last at bat, she ended up stealing a base. It ended up being a very close call, but she was able to just make it onto the bag. So she could definitely be dangerous out there. If she can get on a base, she can possibly be able to steal either at second or at third, but I'm sure Marshall will definitely be on the lookout for her now that she's back up at bat.
And that screwball from Nestor falling out there on the outside, and it's called for a strike. Logan now working with 2 balls, 1 strike here. She swings and misses on that one, making it 2-2. Seeing some really great movement right here from Nestor. I can see why now she gets a lot of strikeouts, but Logan sends this one far back over that field, over that walking trail once again. Really keeping everyone on their toes out here in the stadium as we kind of see the sunset and a beautiful view back here behind our stadium.
Yeah, beautiful shades of pink and blue back there. Glad they also have the warning sign back up there on the walking path. It's definitely needed here to make sure that when people are walking out there, you just got to always be vigilant.
A beautiful hit once again by Logan. That must be her specialty, hit those little bloopers. She hit that one right on the top of the ball, but she bounced it over Nestor's head and out there just past second base, marking her down for yet another single.
Yep, like you were saying, Chloe, talk about production. Another solid hit. Last time she hit a little bit more to right field. This time she hit a little bit down center in the gap between the shortstop and the second baseman, and that ended up resulting in a base hit.
Great production right there for Logan. That's exactly what you need as Walker comes up to bat this time. Tori Walker watches this one, and this is a passed ball on Katie Adams. And Logan takes no hesitation, and she's all the way over to second, showing off her wheels on that one. One of the first pass balls we've seen, well, actually the second, but the first time the Bobcats were able to produce and actually get that out at home, so this kind of feels more like the first. You don't see it too often in college softball, so it's always interesting when it does happen, especially with runners on base. And Tori Walker sends this one far and back once again.
Yeah, it's always a gem when you see like rare sequences that happen in sports, whether it's just something that you just don't see very often or like a rare stat, or like when we were calling field hockey a defensive save. Just seeing those sort of things are always the types of things that makes me smile when watching a sport.
Very true, and that off speed from Nestor gets Walker swinging. She was way ahead of that one. 1-2 now the count. Taking her time here. Nestor sends this one way out. If you ever, anyone that's attended Ohio University and they've taken a PAL class, meaning a class you can take any of the sports, there's all kinds of, there's actually a spike ball class. I was enrolled in it for about a week before I decided to drop it. But Tori Walker was actually my teacher, interestingly enough. Walked in and seen her, she said she's on the softball team, and she sends a beautiful line drive, but a beautiful, beautiful tracking skills out there for Bub Faringa as she immediately takes that step back and backhands it for the out.
Yeah, certainly a great swing, great contact there, and it definitely made Faringa run a little bit. And one thing I've noticed too with Marshall's team, they love to dance and definitely love to celebrate whenever a big moment happens. And they definitely show a little bit of celebration there. 2 outs now for the Bobcats, but again, solid contact. They're at least able to get good contact, and that can lead to some good momentum.
Looks like we might be seeing a sub come in right now up to bat.
For your Bobcats, number 5, CC Kyle.
And in for Tori O'Brien, CC Keidel is coming into bat right here to round out this lineup. And Keidel finding herself in a not so good position, 2 outs, but she does have a runner out there on second. Yasmin Logan waiting on her, waiting on somebody to do something and score her. And the first pitch to Keidel is right up the gut. A lot of speed coming off that pitch from Nestor for strike 1.
Yep, Keidel on the season has 6 hits, 4 RBIs, so still a pretty solid season as well for her, being able to step up in the place of O'Brien here.
Sees almost the same pitch, but this time it falls just a little bit on the inside. She doesn't buy on it, bringing her to a 1-1 count. Crowd kind of getting a little hyped up. Here's some rumbles coming down. Everyone's getting excited for this one. She swings, she gets a piece of it, fouls it straight back. Beautiful bat path right there. Just have to be a little bit quicker on the pitch. The 1-2 count to Keidel, and she sends this one out, but once again a foul ball, just barely foul. That is killing these Bobcats.
Yep, I know the frustration has got to be building. You've had a couple of really great hits out to left field, and they've either been fouled or they've been caught out there by Faringa. So, again, that's always frustrating. But the best part about this is they still get another chance. The at-bat's not over, so we'll see what Keidel can do.
Very, very true. She had a beautiful read on that ball, just a little early. She stays alive as she swings and tips yet another one straight back into the net.
Yeah, no wonder we're seeing other pitchers for Marshall starting to warm up right now, as the pitch count's definitely getting pretty high here for Nestor. She's definitely had a lot of pitches in this longer game so far, hour 42 minutes in.
You can see that happening on both sides. And the off speed is what finishes the inning for Keidel. The outside corner for a looking strike 3, and that will end the 4th inning. Marshall still ahead 2-0. We will see you all back here in the top of the 5th. All right, let's get it.
KK 10.
And welcome back, top of the 5th inning, Marshall with yet another chance to score. They've been so close all game, but yet so far.
Yeah, the big thing for OU is just trying to stave off that dangerous top of the order. But one thing that's really important about this Marshall team, and that shows the strength and why they're a 16-5 team, is the depth and how great all these hitters are. You look at the averages, all I'm seeing is above 300 pretty much everywhere.
Yep, and subbing in for her first at bat of the game is KK Kinney. And that one high and into the stands. It bounced up and it landed just about a foot away from us. That one was really close. Interesting. You probably can't see it right there on the screen, but the fan tried to throw it back out there and way over through the pitcher.
Well, that's why I'm glad we have a roof, Chloe, and having that as a luxury is very nice, so we don't have to try to play defense up here.
I don't know, that one looked like it. That one, I looked like it. Felt like it would have bounced in the way it kind of took a weird hop coming off of the stands. But anyway, yep, we are lucky because I was not ready for that. And the pitch from Cole comes in just low. It's a 2-1 count now to Kenny. You've mentioned it already. We're seeing pitchers warm up. I'm wondering when the Bobcats are going to get some relief in there. Nothing against Cole. She's pitched a beautiful game so far. But they seem like they like to kind of switch their time between both of their pitchers.
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky situation. You have two seniors here, and then you also have the freshman Skip Miller in the back. But Kylie Kofel is there, and she's had a tougher season, but she's got a lot of innings pitched. She has a lot of chances against really tough teams earlier on this year, so I feel like she'd be able to come in and do pretty well in this sort of situation.
And that one misses wide. It's 3-1 hitters count now to KK.
It's also interesting, again, what impact does it have for the Bobcats being at home for the first time? Because having to play all those road games straight, not getting to have that home crowd, not getting to wear your home jerseys, not getting to have that sort of thing behind you, it makes it a lot tougher playing these games. And then finally getting to have a home game, that could really just make a lot of things different.
Very, very true. That one deep in the hole, beautifully fielded by the shortstop, Megan McMeany, but not quick enough, not able to get it. Looked like she almost wanted to kind of hit the Derek Jeter right there, but was useless as KK Kinney was already to first. And Marshall working with one on now.
It is. You just blink your eyes and they're almost already to the first base, so you have nothing but a split second, it seems, to be able to field that ball and get it over to first as quickly as possible.
Yep, that is very true. And now up to bat, Katie Adams coming in. Adams been working real hard behind the plate for Marshall.
Yeah, Adams had a pretty interesting at-bat last time. It seemed like that one went on for about 11, 12, maybe 13 pitches.
Yep, she has gotten on base both times so far, so it's been a pretty successful at-bat for her. She's now working with ones on the 1-1 count.
As for Mackenzie Cole, she's put together quite a few good innings here now. The first inning she gave up 2, but we see all zeros across the board since then. So, again, really speaks to her effort and how she was able to stay in it. It's not always about how you start, but it can be really about how you finish in games like this.
That's exactly right, Cedric. I mean, if you would have asked me how this game would have went after that first inning when the Herd scored 2, I would have been like, man, this may not be a good game. But, hey, Bobcats have done a tremendous job holding it off. That one dangerously close to the strike zone, but it is called for a ball. 3-1 now to Katie Adams.
Yeah, we just want to say thank you to all the people that are joining us here on Ohio Bobcat TV. We appreciate you being with us here on a nice Wednesday evening in the middle of your week.
It's our first game back here after a long winter break, and I tell you, it feels good to be back. And that one just off the corner, and it's called for a ball, and that is a walk for Katie Adams. Marshall now working with 2 on and nobody out. It's number 1, Grace Chelleman comes to bat.
Number 1, Grace Chelleman.
Try to build off that RBI total. She has 4 on the season, trying to make it 5 or 6 potentially on this at-bat.
Yep, Chelman seems like she finds herself in these runner-on situations quite a bit here. She's no stranger to this. And she's working with 0 outs as she tries to lay down the bunt, and it's successful. We see the dive from the third baseman on Aaliyah Paoli, but not good enough. Runners will stay where they are, and bases loaded now. That was a beautifully timed bunt right there for Chelman.
It is Paoli. She really showed some great hustle trying to dive for that ball, and she's a taller player, so unlike some other players that might be a little bit shorter, she can take a little bit more risk going inside because she might have a chance to be able to jump up and get something if they try to throw like the blooper a little bit above her. But now, just like that, the bases are loaded on a really well-timed and really well-executed bunt.
Exactly. And with no outs here, Marshall finds themselves in a really great spot for them. It's exactly where they want to be, especially with just that 2-0 lead. They're going to want to build that lead as Riley Lucas steps up to bat. Lucas, a hometown girl from Marshall, as she's from Huntington, West Virginia. She has a .264 average with 5 hits and 5 RBIs. She'd love to tack on a couple more here, stepping into the box with these bases loaded.
Yep, perfect situation too. No outs given up, so you really can take risks. You can even go for a sacrifice at some point as well too.
I imagine playing for the school in your hometown, that just has to be an amazing feeling. And you probably feel that every single time you step into the box, that this is what you've been around your whole life.
Yeah, it's got to be exciting.
She takes the first pitch, though. She didn't like it. That one skimmed the outside corner.
Yeah,
0-1.
Think about home games. You can have all your family and everybody there watching you, all your old classmates, apparently, or like old teachers, old coaches and stuff like that. Got to be really cool.
The Bobcats try to pick off that runner at third, but they are not successful yet again. Brooke Rice just does not give up. She keeps pushing and pushing. This counts 1-1 now to Lucas.
Yep, sun is set here as now we finally got the night conditions here. As you can see a little bit of the glows from the windows in the distance.
This one coming in on that outside corner once again. Riley working from behind now, 1-2. And I tell you, Cedric playing under those lights is an amazing feeling as a player. It's exactly where you want to be. Beautiful evening for it.
It is back throughout your playing days. Did you have a lot of night games, or were most of them just like afternoons?
Most of them were pretty spread out. A lot of morning games, a lot of early 8 a.m. starts, which is really rough considering you got to be there about an hour and a half early. Most of the time, really far away tournaments. Got to be up, like, there were times I've been up 4 a.m. driving games.
My gosh.
It's a grind. And I'm sure every player on this field right now knows exactly about that grind. They're probably thankful they probably don't have too many early mornings anymore at this level.
It is. They also get the joy of being able to be home.
Sends this one super high. And the first baseman is able to grab that one. Caroline spot check. Those balls that go straight up and down, they're a little bit hard to track sometimes, especially right here when it's a little dark.
Yeah, I can imagine you can easily definitely lose track of it. And, again, that's why I have so much respect for anybody who's playing out there trying to make a catch on the fly out. Because I know people will say, like, oh, there's an easy out, or, oh, that should be an easy fly ball. But if any of us, like, just went into that position who've never played the sport, it'd just be insanely difficult, I'd feel.
Yep, that is very true. But you can say that about any sport. Some people can be very critical, especially seeing if they never play. Looks like we got a timeout. Marshall's coach wanting to discuss something with the behind-the-plate umpire. But yet again, we find ourselves at the top of the Marshall lineup with Allie Harrell coming up to bat. This is the 4th time she's going to come to bat.
It is.
She struck out her first. She got out her first at bat, but she was able to get on base the last 2. So we will see what Harrell is able to do right now.
Yeah, they've really been working through the order pretty quickly here, but only 2 runs given up for the Bobcats. That's a pretty good statistic there, given how many batters have been up.
That's very true, and that'll probably be something Marshall looks back on when they check out this game. They're going to think, man, how many runners have we left on base? Kind of a downfall for them, honestly. They've had many opportunities to capitalize. Ohio working with 1 out now.
For Chloe, I'd say this is one of their best chances to capitalize now. Bases loaded and only one out right now. So, and they have the best part of their lineup coming in right in these next couple of at-bats.
Yep, very true, and Harrell smokes that one to the outfield. Marshall's only able to pick up one on that one.
Yep, KK Kinney is able to make it all the way home, and that's going to add to their lead as we finally see another run that break the scoring drought of 3 whole innings without anything.
Yep, very true. A rally might be what Marshall needs to break it open, as now Sage Pye comes to bat. Pye was also able to get up to bat her last 2 innings. And with that, Ohio's going to call a timeout. It looks like they're going to have a little discussion. Right now, the infield probably trying to work through what is their game plan going to be right here as Roark makes her way out there to the mound. Going to check in with Cole, see how she's doing. And looks like we will be seeing another pitcher. So we will be going to a quick break as we allow Ohio to get some warm-up pitches in. You can see a noticeable speed difference.
Yeah.
Oh, we're on? Well, Kylie Kofelt is getting some warm-up pitches in right here as she comes in with the bases loaded, only 1 out. One of her warm-ups kind of got away from Brooke Rice back there, but Kofelt is no stranger to coming in, as her and Cole have split a lot of time on the mound this year.
Yep, Kofelt is from Beloit, Ohio. She's a senior with a 7.52 ERA, 22 strikeouts, and 44 innings pitched. And this is a very tough spot, really a gut check moment for this Bobcat team. You find yourself down 3-0, bases are loaded, only 1 out so far in the inning. You need to do anything you can to stop the bleeding here and hopefully just keep that score at 3-0.
Yep, very true. And her first batter she's going to face is Sage Pye. Pye has gotten on base already twice today, and she has been a very successful hitter for the team, and she leads with 6 home runs. This is not who you want to be facing if you're Kylie Kofelt right now. First one seems a bit high and away for ball 1.
Yeah, it's a very difficult part of the lineup, but Kofelt, I'm sure she is battle-tested, having gone against some tougher opponents in the SEC. So those types of battles are going to really prepare you well for hitters of this caliber.
That is very true. And if you're a batter, it's pretty tough whenever a new pitcher comes in. You got to re-get your timing and re-figure out the pitching style. And as we can see, Kofelt has a lot different style than Cole, even a different wind-up style, which you see a difference between every batter. But Kofelt's, she kind of does a little bit of a bent knee action and kind of pitches really quickly compared to Cole.
Yeah, so it could be a nice changeup, especially if you've gotten a few pitches from the other pitcher and now you're dealing with somebody else. It could definitely change the dynamic, I could imagine.
And Pye's working with 3 balls, and this one drops its way on the outside corner, called for strike 1. Cole reading the signs, hitters count for Pye. Bases loaded and the pitch comes in, and she holds off. Dropping that bat is called for ball 4, and Ohio walks a run in. Katie Adams coming across to touch the plate.
Now batting for the Thundering Herd.
Yeah, that's what makes the situation even tougher now is now with the bases loaded like this, whenever you get a walk, it's going to always advance all the runners and going to start allowing runs. So you really get a big penalty for allowing a walk now.
It is a very tough situation as Maya Stevenson steps up to bat. First pitch to her is a strike on the outside corner. Like I said, absolutely no room for error anybody on the field, but Marshall, they've quickly doubled their score.
Yeah, Maya Stevenson, she was the one who got it started earlier in the game for Marshall with the home run.
She sends this one bouncing over to the third baseman's head and out into the outfield. Marshall's only able to pick up one run, but nevertheless, they lead 5-0 now. In situations like this, we don't need big Stevenson home runs. They just need hits, and that's exactly what they are doing right now.
It is. Marshall, with all the home run hitters that they have, they don't just need to go through their first three. That any of the people on their team can be able to take it the distance and hit it all the way over the back wall. And their situation just keep building singles, keeping the bases loaded, keeps the pressure up.
Lauren Love comes in. She faces that off-speed pitch. First one, but it falls in just a bit high, and it's called ball one. Checking the sign. Love stands in there strong. This one falls on the outside for yet another ball.
One of the important things about the OU pitching staff right here that we have a lot of seniority between our the two players that have been getting most of the playing time so far this year. So they have had experience throughout the years.
That one, a very close one down the line. That one looked like it was kind of going in and out. From where the third baseman touched it, it was a foul ball, so that one called foul, and luckily for her, because looks like she got a bad read on the bad hop, and it kind of bounced away, but nevertheless, foul ball, and Lauren Love gets another chance here with the 2-1 count.
Yeah, Love has done a solid job all day so far being able to just get on base.
Yeah, and Love was actually one of the ones that scored back in the first inning, so it has been a pretty successful day for her. She sends this one. Looks like it gets off the bottom of her bat and thrown into a double play. The Ohio Bobcat defense getting their way out of that one real quickly with a slow roller to shortstop. And with that, Marshall builds their lead up. It is now 5-0. Thank you for tuning in here with Ohio Bobcat TV, and we will see you all back here in the bottom of the 5th inning to see if the Bobcats can. And welcome back here to the bottom of the 5th inning, Ohio and Marshall. Marshall, top of this inning, they were able to pick up a couple runs on a bases loaded scenario. They now lead 5-0, but Ohio got themselves out of the inning with a 6-4-3 double play, textbook double play, if you will.
Yep, that's about as good as it gets. And one funny pattern so far for OU, through each of the inning, they get about halfway through. They get all the way to Rice in their order, and then they end up going to the next inning, and then they got to the bottom. And then once again, we ended the last inning on the bottom of the order, so we're back up to the start, this time, though, with the replacement for England.
Caitlin Fogg batting the first one. She fouls it off and over the stands on the left side of the park. And we see Sydney Nestor still working it out there on the mound.
Yeah, she's had herself one heck of a day so far with 6 strikeouts on the day, trying to make it 7.
Yep, pretty successful day. Coming into this game, we talked about how many strikeouts she is able to get, and that's a pretty high number so far for her. But that last pitch, she left it hanging just a little wide. 1-1 now to Fogue, and she sends this one rolling on the ground. Not a hop in sight as it just rolls its way out there to center field, and a great job right there by Fogue.
Yep, right in the sweet spot. I like to call that one right down Broadway.
That was her first at bat of the game after subbing in for England, who stole third in the last inning. But hey, she made it count right there. Caroline Spacek coming into bat now. Spacek's had a pretty good game so far. She's gotten on base twice, looking to make it a third time as Bobcats really, as we're rounded down into the bottom of the game, really need to start getting back some runs here.
Spacek on the day is 1 for 2, had a single and a strikeout.
And she sends this one high, but it's not far enough. It's a center fielder, camps under that one and picks up the out. Grace Chelleman waiting on that one, and there's one down now for the Bobcats. That one looked like it was coming off the bat hot, but it just didn't have enough push behind it.
It is. I mean, it's a great contact, and you do the best you can in that situation, but so far the outfielding has been pretty perfect so far, not only on Marshall's side, but on OU's side, as we've seen no errors.
You know, Cedric, what I've been told, you make an error in the infield, you miss a runner on base, but if you make an error in the outfield, you could be losing a whole base. They could be stealing, they could be running. You never know what happens. So being in the outfield is extremely important, and you have to be on your game. No room for errors right there.
It is. I just think about the attentiveness there, Chloe, and just being able to, they've been out there for 2 hours, essentially just being back there and not getting lulled to sleep, making sure you're still staying in and staying focused on the game.
Yep, very true. With that, we have McMenemy batting, already working with a 1-1 count. She's also working with one out now, and she has a runner out there on base. It's Fogue standing there on first, waiting to make her way around. This one called for a strike. The crowd doesn't seem to like that call, though, as it's 1-2 here.
Not at all. The last couple times McMenemy was on, she is 1 for 2, had a fly out, and then also a double.
And it looks like she swung a little bit late. She fouled that one off the end of her bat and into the net over there. Our batter on deck barehanded that one with a big smile on her face. Proud of that one.
Yeah, nice catch by Paoli.
1-2 the count now to McMenemy. And she holds off on that one, falling off the outside corner to bring her to an even 2s. We talked about this a bit last inning, but I feel like pitcher has to be starting to get a little tired as she stings this one up the line, and yet another one that is just foul.
It is. Well, Chloe, this is where you talk about mental toughness, whether no matter what the sport is, softball, baseball, football, basketball, field hockey, in these late in the game moments when you're starting to get tired, it's really going to come down to who's the best when they're tired, who's the team that's going to have the mental strength and the mental fortitude to go through the game and get that last out, get that last strike. And so far, we've seen a lot of it.
That is a beautifully ripped hit right there. That one can be turned into an in-the-park triple. Beautifully ripped right up the first base side, and it was right there on the ground, right there along the line, and it found its way back in that no man's land off in the corner of left field. And McMenemy rounding her way all the way to third, showing off her wheels, and Ohio is officially on the board, scoring Caitlin Fogue.
Yeah, talk about speed there. They were both rolling around those bases in a blink of an eye, looking like the flash out there, the green flash out there, I should say.
When you see that ball bouncing around over there in those corners, you know you have to get on your horse and go. And that is exactly what she did. And that brings Analia Paoli. Paoli, a big batter right here for the Bobcats as she takes that first pitch. Coming on the inside for ball 1.
Yep, now Bobcats find themselves in another scoring position here. If even a sacrifice or even just any single or base hit should be able to get the runner home.
McMenemy out there on third saying, score me, score me. As Paoli takes yet another one, making it a quick 2-0 count.
It is. Talk about an answer, Chloe, right now, and allowing 3 runs in the last, in the top of the inning, and now in the bottom of the inning, the pressure was on, and so far the Bobcats have answered the call.
Very true. This one seems a bit high in the strike zone's called for a strike. The crowd not agreeing with that one. It's 2-1 now. The board is saying 1-1, but there was a ball earlier that I know was there. I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah, this is why we're going to try to keep like a little mental track of it. We're all trying to get this together, just make sure the game is right, and we'll get it all worked out.
Nestor out there on the mound, checking her call. She sends it in and off the outside, but the umpire liked it and he calls it for a strike. 2-2 the count now.
There you go, Chloe. You're right all along right there. 2-2 is the count.
That's what I like to hear, Cedric. 2-2 now to Paoli, and she swings. She stays alive. Gets a piece of it off the end of her bat, but that's what she wants to do. She's not liking those outside pitches. She's going to just foul them off from now on until she can get that pitch that she wants. And that just shows the discipline that you have to have as a batter when it gets to this level. She holds off on that one, coming on the inside. Full count. Now to Paoli.
Yeah, talk about good eyes and good discipline right there. That one looked like it was going right up the middle. But maybe from our vantage point, it looks like everything's right down the middle.
Yep, our view might be a little skewed, but hey, that's okay. We can get a pretty good grasp on it. And the final pitch to Paoli off the outside. That one looks so similar to some of those ones the umpire called strike, but hey, Paoli will take it as she walks her way down the first. Runners at the corners now for the Bobcats. I always think this is an interesting situation. There's one out. We're going to see, what is Paoli going to do here? Is she going to stay? Is she going to try to catch him sleeping? What is she going to do? There's always some interesting bit of offensive plays you can run here.
Yes, there is, and we'll see if there was a little bit of the first base coach for the Bobcats went to go and talk to see if what move Paoli will make. And there goes Paoli.
With the steal. Marshall didn't bite on that one as they just let her have it. But this one is called for ball 1. Now that both runners in scoring position for the Bobcats, and this one is just popped up right out there to the shortstop. That brings us to 2 outs. Sophia Bernard with the pop out.
Next for your Bobcats, number 12,
Lauren Love having a heck of a game out there at shortstop. She was the one with that out.
Yep.
And Brooke Rice back up to bat.
Yep, Brooke Rice, she's 0 for 2 on the day. She's trying to get the best of Nestor here.
She's had 2 strikeouts so far, but she's going to try to avenge that as she swings at the first one she sees, and it's tipped back into the net for strike 1. You got these 2 runners right here in scoring position. You cannot let that go to waste if you are the Bobcats.
Not at all. All it takes is any hit out to right field could be just enough time that both the runners need to both make it.
That is exactly true, as that one falls high. 1-1 now. Still 2 outs as we're working our way in the top of the 6th here, and Rice, the big cut on that one. She grabs the tip of it, but it stays low. 1-2 now.
Yeah, 1-2. I know this game's gone long, but yeah, we're still in the bottom of the 5th too at this point.
Bottom of the 5th, excuse me. I read the scoreboard wrong.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I feel like this would be probably the amount of time for the full game. And you said I'll go for it.
That one fouling way back off to the right. But no, like you said earlier, Cedric, we love to do this, and it's been a while since we've been able to get out here and call a game, so we certainly don't mind sitting here for near 3 hours calling a game.
It is. Let's go for 4 hours. Maybe we get some extra inning action.
This one low and inside, and it's called for a ball. 2-2 now for number 12 with 2 outs.
Well, also very happy with the crowd as well, too. We got a strong crowd still sticking with us right here into the fifth.
Yep, crowd isn't letting the length of this game falter them any bit. And Rice staying alive. She tips yet another one back into that net. The Ohio dugout is starting to get a little bit of electricity in them. So over there starting to chance. Something you don't see as much in college softball, but hey. They will take it, and Rice staying alive, swinging at yet another. She's got 2 strikes on her. She's not letting anything get past her.
Not at all. And I can definitely respect the energy that's on both sides, whether it was the Marshall players dancing or the OU chants and encouraging their players to continue battling at this at-bat here. Back in high school and just in any sport that I do, feeling the encouragement of fans and teammates was always great.
And Nestor wins this battle, striking out Rice once again. And that does it for our 5th inning. Bobcats are finally able to get on the board, but Marshall still leads 5-1. Thank you for tuning in here at Bobcat TV, and we will catch you all back here in the top. And welcome back here. We are in the 6th inning here at Ohio Softball Field. Marshall and OU. Marshall ahead 5-1. Excuse me, OU as in Ohio University, if you didn't know. But Kylie Kofelt remains on the mound out there for the Bobcats. She starts off facing number 00, Autumn Owens. Owens struck out her last at bat, but her first at bat she was actually able to get on base and all the way down to 3rd. She takes first pitch strike right here.
I'm still waiting for the day we get to see the OU slam with Ohio versus Oklahoma one day and battle for who's the real OU.
That would be certainly interesting as Owens laces this one out there into left field, but it is foul. Bringing her quickly to an 0-2 count. Kylie Kofelt working ahead right here. Something you really want right there as a pitcher, especially when you're opening up the 6th inning. Oh, 0-2, Kofelt with the pitch, and it is a ball falling too far off the outside. But yet she's still working from ahead here, 1-2. And Owens sends this one super high into the outfield, kind of in the middle of the right and center fielder, but center fielder calls her off of that one and grabs the out. Yasmin Logan out there.
Yep, well
with the
done
catch.
by Logan. Once again, showing that she's been able to fill in the position of England fairly well, doing a great job of stepping up into center field and being able to make a play. And this game definitely means a lot, not only for the rivalry games, but also these teams leading up into their conference plays as they're both about to start. Ohio will open up against Buffalo coming up in their next series on the 18th.
Yep, very, very true, Cedric. And now up to bat we have KK Kinney. Kinney, the first one actually to score last inning for Marshall. It's a good at bat coming in. That was her first at bat, and hey, she started off a rally for the Thundering Herd. She's working now with a 1-1 count and 1 out. This one, she puts it into play. It's a slow roller out the shortstop. Going to have to be quick. She bobbles it a bit. And with the stretch at first, that one is out. Another bang, bang play right there. Good stretch right there by Caroline Spacek. And good waiting out there for McMenemy. That's 2 outs already for the Bobcats.
That's how you draw it up right there. And it seems like the Bobcats, here we are, back in a 2-out scenario. We'll see if they can be able to get their way out of this inning.
Yep, very true as Katie Adams steps up to bat. Adams watching this one fall almost in the dirt in the other batter's box for the first pitch ball. And this one coming in, the off-speed pitch. Looked like it was close, but maybe just a little low. 2 balls now to Adams. Off the outside, Adams way ahead in the count now, 3-0. Kofelt really needing to pick up some strikes right here. And with the 3-0, Kofelt finds the strike zone with a drop ball strike. Katie Adams, another one of those ones that scored last inning in that big inning for Marshall. They still hold on to that 5-1 lead. And Kofelt sends in another strike. Adams looks like she wants to hack away at it, but she holds off, and now she sees herself quickly from a 3-0 count to a full count. Something's going to happen right here.
Yep, just like that.
And this one low, and Adams walks her way out to first with 2 down.
Yeah, another one of those, Chloe, that was so close. When you get to a full count, you feel yourself right out of the inning, and it just seems like the Bobcats just can't get out of the inning in those situations.
Yep, that is very true. As Grace Chelleman comes to bat for the Thundering Herd. Chelleman, first pitch comes in for a strike right up the gut, but she holds off on it, working with a strike now. And 9 times out of 10, when you see a batter get walked like that, you're kind of thinking in your head you might want to hold off a bit, but that's exactly what she did. This one drops low, and we once again see Brooke Rice with a tremendous drop and block right there, keeping that one in front of her. The 1-1 pitch to Chelleman, and she swings, tips it off the end of her bat, off the left side, the left net. 1-2, Kofelt now working ahead here.
Yep, needs just one more strike to get out of the inning. We'll see if Kofelt can come up, as there's some chants saying, "I believe," in the crowd here.
Yep, the Ohio crowd still standing strong here. And Chelleman finds a hole in the infield. She lines it out there to the left-hand side for a nice little single for Marshall. They now are working with 2 runners on first and second. With Riley Lucas coming to bat.
Yeah, that's a real tough one for the Bobcats. Again, you get to a point where you're almost out of the inning. You're right there, and then Marshall takes it away from you right at that second.
That seems to be a recurring theme here tonight for both of these teams.
It is. It'll really test the Bobcats' resolve.
And the bunt, a beautiful bunt right there, but Brooke Rice is quick with it, but they're not able to hang on to it at first, and the error lets Marshall score another run. Katie Adams coming in to score, and that error going down on Tori O'Brien. But hey, a beautiful bunt right there. 2 outs, you're not really expecting that, but Riley Lucas does just that, and it pulls the defense a little bit confused, and that resulted in that error right there. The Herd now ahead 6-1. We're back to the top of the lineup with Allie Harrell coming to bat. After getting out in the first inning, Harrell has got on 4 straight times.
You can really feel the Thundering Herd starting to really gain a lot of the momentum here in this game. And as the Bobcats keep having these situations where they're so close to being able to get out of the inning but just can't, it starts to become demoralizing for a team like this. So we'll see if the Bobcats can stop the bleeding and get that last out.
That is very true as Harrell takes that one 1-1 now. Marshall working with runners on the corner, but with those 2 outs, they're not going to be very gutsy. They're going to hold up right where they are. Encouragements to pitcher Kylie Kofeld heard throughout the crowd. And Harrell sends this one right up the middle into the outfield for an RBI. Driving in Grace Chelleman. Herd now up 7-1. Can see that Bobcat confidence kind of deflating right here as Sage Pye steps into bat.
Yeah, these last 2 innings especially have been very difficult, and we talk about how tough of a situation Kofeld had to come into. Again, this is just as hard as it gets against these level of hitters here.
And this one falling low. Brooke Rice keeping that one in front of her. Popping out from behind that plate quickly, kind of checking her runner, Riley Lucas, out there. The Herd working with runners at 1 and 2 now. And a little bit of a check swing there from Sage Pye brings her to a 1-1 count. Someone from the crowd saying, I only came here tonight to see home runs. Well, they did get to see one earlier in the first inning, but not much since then.
It is.
And that is something you don't see very often. That ball hit down the line off the first base bag, and it kind of redirected it, popped right up in the air, but Tori O'Brien out there on second trying to avenge her error, and she throws it to the first baseman, but it's not quick enough, or it looks like Spacek may have let that one slip from her glove a bit, and Sage Pye is called safe.
It is. That's just a really tough break out there because it's like of all the places it can hit, it stops on the base, it bounces up over, and you're like, oh, the defense is like, you're not really prepared for that happening. Like, usually you're going to be used to it going right to first so you can get there, get on the bag, get the ball in, and corral that. But, yeah, this brings in a timeout for the Bobcats as they try to stop the bleeding.
That is definitely something you don't see too often. I mean, it took me so long to get that out of my mouth because I was just shocked to see that. But, hey, bases loaded now. Bobcats taking a quick timeout, trying to regroup after that. That's nobody's fault. That's just a really tough play. But kudos to Tori O'Brien, quick thinking on that one, trying to get that out. Bases loaded now for Maya Stevenson.
I agree. I'm also really impressed with the hitting from Marshall right now as they've strung together quite a few hits in a row here.
Yep, they're starting to score some runs, but they still got to keep in mind that runners left on stat from earlier. Although they're starting to put it together now, but it still is a bit concerning for the team.
It could be a little bit concerning, but with the way this team goes, with how many people are able to get on base, that may just be more of a factor that speaks more to how they're able to get so many people on base as opposed to just not being able to finish.
This one high off the bat of Stevenson. And in left field, right field, taking it way back, Tori Walker off the warning track, holds on to that one, and that ends the Thundering Herd rally, but not before they score a couple more. as we head into the bottom of the 6th inning. 7-1 the score. Thank you tuning in here at Ohio Bobcat TV, and we will catch you all back here. And welcome back here to the bottom of the 6th inning. Marshall versus Ohio University. Marshall on top this time, 7-1 after a big hit off the bat of Maya Stevenson, but it was caught out there in the warning track. And leading things off, a huge hit, but it's caught out there in center field. And that was a quick first out right there for the Bobcats.
Next for your Bobcats, number 8, Tori Walker.
I didn't even have time to get my intro out before we seen the first out, but that brings Tori Walker up to bat now. Grace Chelleman out there in center field with the monster catch. And this one, hot off the bat, and it is gone. A solo home run, Tori Walker. Beautifully hit ball right up center field. And that is exactly what the Bobcats needed to start a rally.
See, that's what you love to see from Walker. Her past couple at-bats really have built up to that. She had a fly out to center field, had a fly out to left field, and lo and behold, on the third time was the charm as she was able to hit that one out of the park in the middle. And that's really what the Bobcats need, at least to get something going on, but shows that the Bobcats are not out of this yet.
Yep, that is exactly right, Cedric. Just keep on pounding it. That is actually her first home run on the season, if I'm not mistaken, and what a one it was. Beautifully hit ball. Bobcats are on it this time. Up to bat now, Tori O'Brien.
It is a 7-inning game, so no matter what scores are, whether it's in the first or second, or whether you're doing well in the 6th and 7th, that could be the main thing. So if the Bobcats can finish off strong, you can score in a hurry and make this a game in a hurry.
We've seen about 3 or 4 pitches right now, and all of them the Bobcats have swung. The mentality coming in this inning is hits, hits, hits. That is what they are going for.
Yep, swinging for the fences, to be literal with it.
1-1 already here to O'Brien. As this one comes on the inside, but it is ultimately called a ball. Looks like she almost wanted to do a check swing right there. Maybe she was trying to protect herself, but hey, they gave it to her. 2-1 now.
Yeah, just a stream of consciousness thought. I think a lot of softball players would make really good dodgeball players as well.
She hits this one up the middle, and it gets through right there in that gap between shortstop and second, and a nice little single right there for Tori O'Brien. I tell you, Cedric, actually, when I played, some practices we would play dodgeball just for fun. I mean, yeah, you're right. Softball players probably do make pretty great dodgeball players. But with that, Marshall's going to call a timeout. There's only one Ohio runner on base. At 7-2, they're going to get a quick huddle out there. You almost question maybe are they going to pull their pitcher, but it doesn't seem like that's what they're doing here.
Yeah, Chloe, I mean, you'd think fatigue would really start to come into play here. There's been a lot of pitches, a lot of full counts, And it's been a long game so far, and having one pitcher out there the whole time, that's where things get difficult. And I think right now Nestor's starting to show her fatigue a little bit. But nevertheless, she's had herself a really great game, and she's had a lot of these Bobcat runners' numbers. But right now in this inning, the Bobcats have come out swinging, and they've gotten a lot of the better end of Nestor a lot. And we'll see if they keep Nestor out. It looks like she's going to show a lot of courage here and a lot of endurance, and she's going to continue to go.
That is very true, and Coach Smithline doesn't seem to be too concerned with it as she leaves her out there on the mound. So we are back to the top of the Ohio lineup with Caitlin Fogue coming in for her at bat. Fogue, a lot of success last time, was able to score for the Bobcats in her first at bat. First pitch she sees comes in as a strike, though. In the 0-1 pitch, big swing from Fogue. She seemed just a hair late on that one. She's working from behind now, 0-2.
Once again, Fogue came in for the injured Allie England. We haven't heard anything yet on that, but hopefully she's all right. But Fogue has done a great job filling in.
She fouls this one, backing over the stands. And yeah, you're right, we haven't heard an update on England, but she hasn't came back into the game. So it is a bit concerning at this point, especially considering what a leader she is for this squad.
Correct, but so far Fogue is 1 for 1 on the day with a single.
And England's a 5th year. She's been around this squad for a long time. It's really hard to see her go down for her team. It's 1-2 now to Fogue. She shows that bunt sign and she pulls back, laces this one towards the dugout, and once again that Ohio dugout's getting beat up. I think that one actually made its way in the dugout. Thankfully it doesn't appear anyone got hurt, but see a lot of players' faces looking back, making sure everything's all right over there.
It is. They might have to install some sort of like shield or something like that just to create a more safer environment over there.
I don't know. Seems like a lot of... There's a big difference between the high school and the college fields. I mean, the high school you always have a shield, but in college you don't for some reason. And that one low and away, but it is called for strike 3, and Caitlin Fogue strikes out, and there's 2 down now for Caroline Spacek.
Yep, strikeout number 8 of the night.
At this point, Nestor might be trying to go for double-digit strikeouts, which seems like a really hard thing to do, but hey, she has proven that she can do it. And Spacek laces this one up the left field line over the head of the third baseman, and that sends Tori O'Brien over to the third, and now the Bobcats are working with 2 runners in scoring position. Seems like it may be getting a little bit slippery out there in the outfield as Bub Faringa slipped on that throw.
Number 21, Megan McNamee.
And Megan McNamee comes up to bat. McNamee had a big at-bat last time with the in-the-park triple down the left field line. Right field line, excuse me.
Yep, overall on the day, 2 for 3, so having a pretty solid day so far with a double and a triple and a fly out to 9.
Swings at the first pitch she sees. Looks like it gets off the very, very end of her bat. She has those 2 runners in scoring position. If she could get a hit like she did last time, that would be super beneficial for the Bobcats. So now only trail by 5. That one low and away. 1-1 the count now. To McNamee. She holds off on this one. A little bit of a framework from catcher Katie Adams back there, but umpire doesn't take it. It's 2-1 now. She gets a piece of this one, sending it far and over into Bob Wren Stadium. It's really dark over there. I don't want to be the person going over to grab that one.
Go jump the fence, get over there. Kind of a little bit of a, I never thought about doing that for like Halloween, but that might be a fun Halloween activity to go out to the fields.
It is a little spooky. And she sends this one high. Center fielder going back, and it is gone. A 3-run home run from McMenemy, and that is game changer for the Bobcats.
That is just absolutely terrific. That is the perfect time for a home run, and I thought it was just going to be a little bit short, but it just kept going, and was gone. And that's what you love to see. This Bobcat team has a lot of fight, and especially against their rivals, you know they're not going to just go out not do fighting, and you see them go out swinging, and they are having a great inning. And I wonder if Marshall will think if maybe this might be the time is up for Nestor.
I don't know, Cedric. I am stunned. That is amazing. What a turn of events for this Bobcat squad. Oh my goodness, the score is now 7-5. Analia Paoli coming in. How are you gonna back that one up? We've seen 2 home runs so far from the Bobcats.
It is, and we had people up here in the booth who were saying, yeah, I just want to see some home runs. You have people out in the crowd that said, I just want to see some home runs, and they're starting to get their money's worth.
Back onto that jinxing business, Cedric, I'm telling you.
I don't believe in jinxes.
Gets a piece of this one, but it's right into the glove of the third baseman. Sends it over to the first, and that is out number 3. But big inning for the Bobcats with a 3-run home run from McMenemy. And that does it for our 6th inning. We will see you back here in the top of the 7th as the Bobcats trail now only by 2, 7-5 score. Thank you for tuning in here at Ohio Bobcat. Welcome back here, top of the 7th inning. Marshall now only working with a 2-run lead here, as Ohio had a huge 3-run home run from Megan McMenemy. Kicking off the Marshall lineup is Lauren Love. Lauren's had a big day. She swings at the first pitch she sees, but it goes foul.
Interesting territory now. We're back to almost the same thing we were for the first 4 innings now. 2-run lead now for Marshall, and now they can feel the pressure a little bit now. It's kind of a new territory. At least they thought the game might have been over at 7-1.
That's exactly right, and that just shows how quick things can change. Those 2 runs, if Ohio can break it, could see a very different ball game here. Which we already are seeing a very different ball game, but hey, this is exciting.
It has. It definitely rejuvenate the crowds. I also see both dugouts pretty hyped up as well.
This one coming in low to Love. It's 2-1 now the count for her. What a big last 2 innings. I mean, Marshall scored, we've both scored 5 actually. If it wasn't for that first inning, we'd be tied right now, but hey, what can you do? Seen 10 runs come across in the last 2 innings on both sides.
It just makes you smile. It's like we had those long innings where we had no runs scored, and you're just hoping for some fireworks to happen, and then you wait, you be patient, and then boom, there's the fireworks.
That is exactly what happened, and I am so excited. But starting things off, Lauren Love is able to draw the walk off Kylie Kofelt to give Marshall their first runner of the inning. 0-0, Autumn Owens comes to bat now. Owens a big hitter for Marshall. Oh, what am I saying? They're all big hitters.
You got that right, Chloe.
She sends this one. Second baseman over to first, and it is a double play for the Bobcats. That is beautiful right there. 4-6-3, the double play.
That's how you draw it up right there. Now it seems like the Bobcats are really starting to find their stride here, not only in their hitting, but also in their fielding as well.
McMenemy at shortstop right there for that one. Man, I tell you, she's had a very good last couple of innings, getting 2 double plays and a home run. This is just her game right now. Bobcats working with 2 outs now. And that brings us to the third. What a turnaround for the Bobcats, and that does it for the top of the 7th. Bobcats trailing 7-5. Thank you for tuning in here on Bobcat TV, and we will see everyone back here in the bottom of the 7th to see if Ohio can avenge these last 2. Welcome back. It's the bottom of the 7th inning, and we are seeing a new pitcher now for Marshall, Brianna McCown, coming in. And a fun fact, McCown has only pitched 1 inning up until this point for Marshall. She is coming in at such a great time. Hey, we will see what those Bobcats can do against her.
Here comes Bernard. Both the next hitters right now for OU are 0-3 on the day, so we'll see if they can get their first hits of the day, and they definitely need to get something going. They're just 3 runs away from possibly being able to walk this off.
Yep, and a very exciting point in the game, and the first one to Bernard is a ball. And the pitch from McCown falls outside. 2 balls now to Bernard. I bet McCown is out there feeling the pressure. I mean, sheesh, only 1 inning pitched, 1 strikeout, and no earned runs. And that one hard on the ground off the bat of Bernard, but it bounces right into the glove of the third baseman, Autumn Owens, and over to first, and that brings Ohio to their first out.
Yeah, this has been a tougher part of the lineup for the Bobcats, as both Bernard and Rice haven't been able to find a lot of success today, but there's still time left in the game, and things can change in an instant.
Yep, that's exactly right. And like I said earlier, you can't let what happened in the past affect you, especially when you're coming into bat, and I bet that's exactly what Coach told Brooke Rice is, don't even think about it. Just focus on now. We are approaching almost a 3-hour game. We thank you all for sticking along with us through this battle, through this cross the river battle. This one, I think he called it a strike, making it 2-1.
Yeah, we saw heard from Jordan here that we had over 100 viewers today, which is very exciting to hear.
And this one falls low. I think it's 2-1 now.
I just say thank you not only to the Ohio Bobcat fans, but also the Marshall Thundering Herd fans that are also joining us here today.
Yes, we love to have you and so excited to be able to call this game. That one looked like it was close, but it isn't called. Brooke Rice working now with the 3-1 hitters count. And that one outside, Brooke Rice makes her way to first on a walk, and Ohio has a base runner. Coming up to bat, Yasmin Logan. Logan's had a pretty successful day. Not a whole lot of power hitting, but she has done exactly her job. Getting a couple bloopers here and there, a couple singles, and that is exactly what she was made to do, and she is capitalizing on it so well. They're getting a base runner, a pinch runner out there at first. Emily Walker going in to run.
Emily Walker's from Plain City, Ohio, and she's a sophomore. Haven't got as much playing time, but this is a great chance and a great big chance to be able to get your speedsters out there.
Yep, and Logan comes into bat. First pitch comes in just high, and it's called for ball one. Tensions are high right now. This one comes in just high once again. And Walker is working ahead with 2 balls. And with that, Coach Smith-Lyon is going to go out to the mound, pay a quick visit to her pitcher.
It is. This is probably the biggest moment of McCown's career up to this point. She's a sophomore, haven't pitched that many innings, and now in a rivalry game, you're put into the 7th inning, and you got to keep a 2-0 lead. I mean, that's about as tough as it gets. So not having a lot of experience. This is kind of a trial by fire sort of period. So we'll see if she's able to be able to go and be able to do and finish off the game, or if she'll be able to have it be a learning experience for her too.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, Cedric, mental toughness is the name of the game, and McCown is seeing that right now. Going to see what she is able to do for the Thundering Herd. 2-0 now, and this one falls on the outside. And Logan working way ahead, the 3-0 count. And the 3-0 pitch to Yasmin Logan. And McCown is able to find the strike zone with that one. A little bit on the outside edge, but hey, strike is a strike. 3-1 now, Logan working with the hitter's count.
Yep, Logan 2 for 3 on the day, trying to make it 3 for 4.
Pretty good stats so far for Logan. And that one high and away, and Logan walks her way to first. The Bobcats have 2 on right now. Last time we seen Tori Walker up to bat, and she hit a 3-run home run. If she can do that again, that is a walk-off and wins the game. I don't want to get too ahead of myself now. I'm just thinking in the future, but this is a huge position for Walker.
It is, and most importantly, only 1 out right now for the Bobcats, so they have a little bit of wiggle room as well, too. So we'll see how this goes. This is going to be a big at-bat here, as it looks like the first baseman for Marshall is walking over to be able to give some words of encouragement to McCown here.
Yep, everyone's going to want to have a quick chat right here, take a minute to breathe, give Marshall a chance to kind of get their footing here. Walker staying calm and collected here. And 1 ball right here to Tori Walker. This one, it looks like it's close. See, Adams trying to frame that one in there, but it isn't called. It's 2-0 now.
I heard a comment out in the stands talking about for Tori Walker, just like in our backyard, which I thought was really cool. Might be your family talking about the training they've done in the backyard all throughout the years.
It is so cute. Sounds like a very dad thing to say. And this one, a pass ball for Marshall, and there are now 2 runners in scoring position for the Bobcats as they make their way over to second. There's only 1 down now. Crowd getting hyped up, stomping their feet. And the energy here in Ohio softball field is electric. But Marshall's coach comes out, wants to have a quick chat with their umpire. Bit of a pause right here. Everyone kind of waiting to see. There might be some substitutions coming in, and we are going to see a new pitcher for the Bobcats. We're going to run to a quick break, let her get some warm-up pitches in, and we will be back to tell you who it is. And welcome back here, bottom of the 7th inning. Bub Faringa into pitch now. And poor Tori Walker having to face a different pitcher in the middle of her at-bat. Either way, she's working now with 3 balls. There's 1 out, and there's 2 runners in scoring position for the Bobcats at second and third. And Tori Walker once again up to bat.
Yep, the new pitcher for Marshall's Bub Faringa from Glendale, Arizona. We've seen her hit a little bit, but now she's out there pitching. She has a 2.9 ERA, 6 strikeouts, and she has pitched 9 innings. Be her 10th.
Crowd pumping it up here at Ohio Softball Stadium.
The official, or should I say, I guess unofficial song of Ohio University.
Yep, that is very true. Walk into any sports, and you will hear that song. But Tori Walker keeps on swinging the bat, waiting on this pitch, waiting on the umpires and everyone else to get set. She's still working with that 3-0 count. It's really hard to know what to expect coming in here with a whole new pitcher right in the middle of your at-bat. And the first pitch from Faringa is a strike right up the gut. But hey, I don't blame Tori Walker at all for just wanting to see one. 3-1 now.
Exactly. That was a high-pressure situation. You know your first pitch had to be perfect, and Bub Faringa was able to answer the call.
Pitch to Walker, falls low, and bases loaded now for the Bobcats. Up to bat now, we have a sub, Reagan Farmer, coming into bat. Farmer, she hasn't had many opportunities so far this year. She batting average is 0 hits, 0 anything. So this is a huge, huge, huge moment for the freshman from Baltimore, Ohio. Coming in, big situation for her. Bases loaded, only 1 down. Looking to see what Farmer is going to do. It's awesome of Coach Rourke to give her a chance like this in big situations. Seeing what her freshman can do. She takes the first pitch, and it is a ball. She steps back into the box. This one It's up the gut, but she doesn't like it. She holds off on that. Working now with a 1-1 count. And the pitch to Reagan. Lets this one go. It hits low.
It is. I respect both coaches for really leaning on their young players in this moment. It's a pivotal moment of this game and in this rivalry, and they're letting their young players really play a big factor in what's going to happen.
Might be a little preview into our future here. That's always good to see. And the pitch falls outside. Adams frames it in, and he calls it a strike. That one seemed to be quite a bit outside, but hey, 2-2 now to Reagan Farmer. We have yet to see a cut from her. Looking to see what she does now with 2 strikes on the board.
Yeah, that's one of those where you wish there was a replay because, oh my goodness, that definitely looked outside from our vantage point, but not a better vantage point than what the umpire has on home.
And she hits this one. It bounces in the infield, and a missed throw from Marshall. Ohio scores 1, Ohio scores 2. And we now have a tie ball game. Reagan Farmer bouncing it out to shortstop, and with the throw into right field, Ohio is tied 7-7, still only 1 out. They still have a runner over there at third, and now Reagan Farmer is standing over there at first. Runners on the corners now. What an exciting time in this game.
It is, and the best part is you even have a chance for a sacrifice situation if you want to sacrifice and just win the game at that point right there. So it's crazy.
Back to the top of our lineup with Caitlin Fogue to bat.
Yep. Also want to mention Lauren Uas is checked in from West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Number 1 is going to be running for Reagan Farmer.
Checking in to pinch run. It's always exciting, especially in these situations.
Just getting all the speed out there, but hopefully what we're looking for the Bobcats is they want their game-winning run to be the person right there on the third base.
Another crazy stat. Even though Marshall has had their handful of strikeouts, Ohio has still gotten 10 hits on the night, and that is just a crazy stat, especially facing a pitcher like Nestor. But hey, this is making for some great softball right here.
Yes, it is.
We just hit the 3-hour mark, but hey, there's no other place I'd want to be.
Yeah, everybody is awake, alive, and well right now as you see the Bobcats really just come to life, roar to life even, as they've scored all of their runs within the last 3 innings. We're seeing a lot of the fireworks, but I know this place will go electric if anything else happens. So we'll see what's going to go down as we've had a lot of breaks throughout this inning that's been full of tension and full of pressure, and we'll see who's able to step up when the pressure is on.
Yep, everyone kind of taking a bit of a pause out there on the field. Umpire getting situated, checking in with their pinch runner, making sure everything's squared away. But Caitlin Fogue finally steps her way into the box. She's bouncing out there. Looks like she's full of energy, ready to go right now. This is her moment to shine. Still only 1 down. And like you said, the sacrifice. But hey, that moves both runners into scoring position. But Fogue gladly takes the strike on that one. Oh, 0-1 now. Fogue in the box. The second pitch to her falls outside, giving her an even ones. There are no words to say to sum up the feeling right now at Ohio softball field, but the 1-1 pitch to Fogue. She takes a cut. She fouls it back into the screen. She's working with 2 strikes now.
Yep, Fogue is 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a single. If she's able to repeat that single, that would probably end the game.
Yep, exactly. We don't need a big hit right here. We just need something. We see the infield kind of pulled in right now. They're not taking any chances. They want to stop everything. She holds out that bunt, pulls back. She gets this one into play. but the first baseman runs and she tags the runner out. She forgets about that run at home, and Tori Walker comes in, scores, and that is the game. Ohio winning 8-7 on a walk-off error at home. What a win for the Bobcats.
It reminds me of the Eastern Michigan game. One of the first baseball games I had here was OU versus Eastern Michigan, and there was a walk-off error in that game, and there was a little bit of a gaffe there by the first baseman for Marshall of not going for the out at home and going for the play at first, and that ended up being the mistake that's ended it. But what a comeback by the Bobcats. They were down 7-1 at one point in this, Chloe. 7-1.
It's amazing. I'm so happy to be able to be here to witness this as Ohio sings their song right now to the crowd, really hyping everybody up. But to give everybody a quick run through of what happened in this game and the Bobcat comeback. First inning, Hurd scored out, scored 2, and there was no more scores until the 5th inning when Marshall scored 3 more runs. Ohio, that was when they scored their first one, was right there. 6th inning, Marshall came back, scored 2. Ohio bounced back with 4. Last inning, Marshall wasn't able to get anything done, and Ohio, with that 30 runs, was able to win the game 8-7.
Yeah, it was just great. Just some of the players that have scored today. Fogue was able to get all the way around and get a score for the Bobcats. Spacek was able to get to home plate. McMenemy was able to get a run. And then also Tori Walker, of course, having the game-winning walk-off run right there, getting on the base. And, again, that just shows why you just never give up. You never give up, Chloe. And that's something that I hope the Bobcats are going to continue to use going into MAC play as they take on Buffalo next.
Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning in here with us. We were happy to call this game, and that ends the night for us. Thank you for tuning in. Ohio Bobcat TV is the Bobcats won 8-7 in walk-off fashion.